Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first Lehigh Sports Broadcasting Club broadcast of the 2025-2026 school year, and we have a treat for you today, everyone. It is a big Patriot League opener between Lehigh football or rather, I said Lehigh Mountain Hawks and the Richmond Spiders. As many of you remember, last year Lehigh pulled off a massive upset over the Spiders in the FCS playoffs. And more stakes coming in this game as Richmond has now moved in the Patriot League as an associate member for football, and also looking to get their revenge, looking to get their revenge from last year's loss against Lehigh in their own house. Already one of the most important games of the year, and we're broadcasting right here on the Lehigh Sports Broadcasting Club YouTube channel. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alec Eskin, or rather, good morning, I should say, for 4 more minutes. My name is Alec Eskin. Alongside me is Jackson Cramp and Jackson. It's only the first game of the year, and they're rarely the most important, but it could quite honestly be the most important game of the year right here today.
I mean, everyone's talking about Texas versus Ohio State today. I think the real matchup of the top 25 is Lehigh versus Richmond. Lehigh coming in today as the 14th ranked team in the Stats Perform poll. Richmond number 25 among FCS teams. This is a huge game that'll have ramifications not just for this next week, but for who can win the Patriot League, as Lehigh and Richmond are two of the favorites to come home with the whole title this year, along with Villanova. That
is correct. As Lehigh won the Patriot League last year, but they've got some new company this year and some new competition, and it really blows the Patriot League wide open. So in terms of the actual players on the field today, you're going to have Kyle Wickersham, who is the senior quarterback for Richmond, who is returning from injury after not playing after last year. And for Lehigh on defense, you've also got players like Matt Spatney, TJ Burke, and Tyler Hoyske and Nick Kaltekin, who've been monsters through the Mount Hawks over the past 2-3 years. And honestly, you could argue that strength versus strength today in this game.
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams, like we were saying earlier, are tipped to compete for the Patriot League title. Lehigh has multiple players in the preseason All-Patriot League team, including some guys you already mentioned. Offensive lineman Langston Jones, defensive lineman TJ Burke, as well as Matt Spatney. That's where you're going to really see this battle today. Richmond are going to need to be able to contain TJ Burke and Matt Spatney if they want to have a chance. If they're not, Lehigh's going to run rampant over there. Not to mention those on the Lehigh's offensive side that'll be involved. Offensive lineman Aiden Palmer, Jeffrey Jamel, the wide receiver, as well as Luke Yoder. But don't count out the Richmond Spiders today, as they're featuring their own basically new team. Over a third of their roster, 32 of 90 players, are new to the programs, including 5 from FBS programs. So Lehigh may have the advantage from last year. Richmond's coming in with an almost completely new team and looking to make it a name for themselves in the Patriot League.
Now we'll have the coin toss. So Lehigh wins the coin toss and will defer. So Richmond will get the ball first. Coming out for Richmond was for the coin toss was number 9. Jordan Allen. And number 71, Scott Hummel, Kyle Wickersham, and number 43, Owen Laughlin. And then going out for Lehigh was number 11, Matt Spatney. Both sides getting fired up as we are just 2 minutes away from starting the Patriot League season and opening up what could be one of the most important games of the year for both teams.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Kyle Wickersham. He's an interesting player. See, back in 2023, he was the starter for Richmond. He led all FCS quarterbacks with a 726 completion percentage, even winning the Capital Cup MVP as they beat William Mary. However, last year, he stopped starting just after 4 games. Enter Camden Coleman for Richmond. He played against Lehigh in the FCS playoff game and played so well last year, he transferred to James Madison, an FBS program. So while Kyle Wickersham certainly has experience, this is going to be a tough way to come back to being a starting quarterback, playing against Lehigh at Goodman Stadium, where Lehigh's ready to build off of an impressive 2024 campaign.
Yep, and that's behind Coach Kevin Cahill, who, after starting off his first year 2-9, completely turned it around last year, and won the Patriot League. It was a turnaround that not many were expecting, and now the Mountain Hawks once again have a chance to build off of that this year. They even won. They even won a playoff game in the FBS in the FCS playoffs for the first time in almost in about 10 years. And now you're gonna have a chance. And now I think this year they're gonna try and build off of that, and perhaps try and got win the Patriot League first, obviously. But then I think they're gonna try and go deeper into the game. He's in the press box. Yep.
Well, Alec, you were mentioning the turnaround last year under Kevin Cahill. And what was intriguing, it wasn't just a turnaround from the year before. It was a mid-season turnaround. Lehigh did not start the year off strong, but he made a quarterback switch, going from senior Dante Perry to the freshman last year, Hayden Johnson. Johnson gave that brief spark that Lehigh needed, throwing for 1,372 yards with 10 touchdowns. He's got to work on his control a little bit, as he did have 7 interceptions. But look to see the sophomore build off of what was a good end of the 2024 campaign as he tries to lead the Mountain Hawks into more success.
Connor Poole now will kick off for the Mountain Hawks. And the kick is underway. Receiving it will go roll into the end zone, so a touchback for Lehigh. That will be Quayne Venny electing not to return, and the Spiders will start off the 25-yard line. So good start on special teams for Mountain Hawks there.
And the Lehigh Mountain Hawks were already drawn a bit with the Richmond Spiders after that special teams incident. That's what you want to see from Lehigh. The students are loud. Goodman Stadium sounds loud. The newly rebranded Clutch Kettle is here to stay. I think it's going to be a good one here.
So Wickersham will be out to start for the Mountain Hawks, and alongside him will be is Aziz Foster Powell. Wickersham takes a snap, keeps it himself. He's gonna go up the middle, and he'll get about 7 yards out of that. So
yeah, that was a good start by Richmond there, staying ahead of the chains. They had a nice little mesh there. It looked like the running back was going to take it, and Wickersham just forged ahead with a bit of QB power, as it looked like they're going to go up Sumpo.
Yeah, Richmond no huddle here in the shotgun. Foster Powell with Wickersham in the backfield. Wickersham, same thing again. QB sneaking. He's going up. He's going down the sideline to the 50 and taken down to the Lehigh 45. And that'll be another first down. And it looks like we have an injury, and looks like that's going to be number 1, Mackay Smith.
Smith was in on the tackle of Wickersham at the end. It looked a little bit awkward because of the size difference. Looks like he's able to walk off, though. Might have just got stepped on wrong or something, hopefully.
Walks off pretty quickly under his own power, which is good, but the Spiders are off to a pretty quick start here on offense. Have already gotten 28 yards.
Yeah, Lehigh needs to lock back in. Hopefully that brief little stoppage gives them a chance to recalibrate.
Wickersham takes it again. This time hands off to Foster Powell. He will get almost nothing. He'll get about 2 yards out of that. Good stuff from Mountain Hawks there.
Yeah, that's what you want to see from Lehigh. As we were talking about earlier, Lehigh has a lot of strength on the defensive line with Matt Spatney. He was an All-Patriot League selection last year with 11.5 sacks, leading the Patriot League and 3rd in the FCS. Look for him to make an impact today.
Now in the shotgun again, but two men in the backfield with Wickersham. Wickersham, he'll take the snap. He'll hand off to Foster Powell again. Another run up the middle, and he'll get about 3 that time. So it'll be 3rd and 5.
All run so far for Richmond. You have to imagine on the 3rd down like this, they have to put the ball in the air. We'll see if their offensive line can hold up.
Very compact offense so far, not very close bunched, and I would agree with you. I think you would see a pass here, but we'll see what the Spiders have in store here. 3rd and 5.
Finally spreading out a bit 4 wide.
I'm sorry, 3rd and 4. Wickersham back to pass, looking, and he will be sacked. Matt Spatney in on for the Mountain Hawks. And let's see what the Spiders do. It looks like they're going to, yes, they will punt. Big stop there. Big stop with third down there for the Mountain Hawk defense. And it looks like they'll get the ball back. They'll get the ball back for the first time this year.
You know, that sack's going to go to Matt Spatney, but that was a team effort by the Lehigh defense. Gave the defensive line just enough time to come in, and you can't give guys like Spatney and TJ Burke enough time to come in crashing down on Wickersham.
Jackson Bonzer will be punting for the Spiders. Here's the snap. Kick is away, and Jamie will fair catch at the 16-yard line. And looks like Mount Collins will come out for the first time this year. So again, it'll be Hayden Johnson, the outstanding freshman from last year, who led the Mountain Hawks to a Patriot League title. And you've also got the two-headed monster, Luke Yoder and Jaden Green, who were electric all last year, including that game against Richmond.
Yeah, Johnson won the MVP for the Leloff game last year. He was the first freshman since 2013 to do so. He has all the makings of a guy who could really help Lehigh out this year. We're looking to see him make the next step as the full-time starter, though.
Johnson with Yoder in the backfield will hand off to he'll take it himself. He's got some space up the middle, and he's not down yet. He's still going, and he'll get about 9 yards out of that. Actually, no, never mind. That'll be 10 yards. That'll be a first down.
Yeah, you know, you don't usually. Johnson's running isn't necessarily the main part of his game, but it is something he uses quite often. Do look for backup quarterback Matt Michalik, another sophomore, to come in for some running packages. That was a nice little start to the game from Lee. I don't think that Richmond was expecting it.
It'll be like a Hill situation for the quarterback / wide receiver / everything for the Saints. Johnson, he'll be back to pass this time. Screen pass to Yoder. Yoder trying to get upfield, but he bounced off a tackle, and he'll get down the sideline for about 2. So nice play by Yoder, fending off 2 tacklers and turning a loss into a little bit of a something.
Yeah, Richmond's defensive coordinator is going to be yelling at his team to tackle better. A nice little play design there by Lehigh. They had the tight end, number 86, Joseph Marenka, who's 6'1", 240 pounds, split out like a receiver to do some blocking downfield.
So second down and 10 here for the Mountain Hawks, or second down. Yes, about second down and 10 here. Johnson with Yoder in the backfield again, and Jaden Green on a jet sweep will get about 5. We'll get about 4 out of that. Or I'm sorry, 5 according to the line judge. It'll be third down 5 here for the Mountain Hawks, and now they're in a similar spot as the Spiders were.
Yeah, you mentioned the two-headed monster of Yoder and Green, so they're both going to get the ball. I thought that was an intriguing play design to get Green the ball coming out of the jet sweep. There seemed to be a little bit of mishandling there on the handoff.
So third down 5 for the Mountain Hawks. Yoder in the backfield with Johnson in the shotgun. Johnson back to pass, looking downfield, can't find anyone, rolling to his right. He'll fire, and it'll be incomplete. So that'll bring up fourth down 5, and that'll actually be forced to punt.
Yeah, I thought once he got out of the pocket, it was a good job by Johnson to keep his eyes downfield. I thought he could have got that to Logan Galetta, the sophomore wide receiver, who seemed to have done a nice job in the scramble drill to get open, but not a whole lot there for Johnson. His first read was taken away, and after that, it was a bit of chaos.
Connor Poole now will be out to punt for the Mountain Hawks. Receiving will be Jaden Fair.
Fake punt in the first punt of the year.
I don't know. Be a little risky, but we've seen risky stuff before. Punt is away, and it's a boot. And Fair will receive it, and he'll try and take it out, and he will get about to the 24-yard line. So a great punt there from Poole, and Richmond will be forced to start deeper within their own territory.
Yeah, talk about a field switching. That was about from Lehigh's 25 to Richmond's 25. So a nice job to put Richmond basically back on their own, back where they were before.
Nothing ball game, but it's looking like to be a defensive slugfest. 10:06 left to go in the first quarter. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 10:06 left to go in the first quarter. Richmond on their own 23 after a booming punt by Connor Poole with Wickersham and Foster Powell in the backfield. And honestly, it would be nice to invest in some binoculars. We're way up here in the press. We're way up here with the press box. Wickersham screen pass to Foster Powell, and he drops it. And the guy's going to fall on it, but it was a forward pass, so it'll be incomplete.
I don't see any signal yet, though. Oh, now we get an incomplete signal.
Yeah, I think that I'm wondering if Kevin Cahill might ask for a review here, because I think it was a forward pass, but it was pretty close.
I mean, it's the season opener. I think if it's close enough to challenge. I don't see any signal from the Lehigh sideline, though.
So he's second down and 10 here. Wickersham, hand off to Foster Powell. Or actually, no, Wickersham takes it, and he'll be taken down for a loss. Loss of 2. And the tackle will be by number 16. Will be number 16 Mason Moore. So now we third down 12.
Yeah, Mason Moore was the one that gets the tackle, but a lot of credits to number 8 Tyler Ojosaki, who was able to contain Wickersham on the edge and eventually slow him down for the tackle.
So third down 12 here for the Spiders, and an almost certainly passing situation here.
Yeah, we've seen 2 runs from bunch formations. Now they spread them back out.
Wickersham back to pass on a blitz, and Wickersham is hit. Throw downfield, and it is caught. What a catch by number 2 Jaden Fair. And it looks like he's a little slow to get up, but a great pass by Wickersham on a huge gain, and a little bit of a gamble there by the Mountain Hawks doing all-out blitz on 3rd and 12.
Yeah, I was gonna say they didn't really have a lot of high safety help there, so it looked like they were coming after him. They almost got him, but good job by Wickersham to stay composed in the pocket.
Wickersham will hand off this time to number 3. It's number 3 who gets about 8 yards now. That'll be Foster. I'm sorry. That is Foster Powell. My apologies. So it'll be second down about 2.
Yeah, both teams struggling with tackling in the first game of the season, which makes sense as they try to get back into the groove of things. A lot of tempo coming here from Richmond. We'll see if Lehigh can bounce back.
Second down 3, 2-man motion. Another handoff to Foster Powell, and he will try and bounce off a few tacklers, but he'll get about 1 on that. A little bit of fighting in the secondary there. It'll be third down 3 now for the Spiders, and if they don't get this, I imagine it's 4-down territory from this spot.
Oh, almost definitely. I imagine they might have 2 plays called into the huddle right now, just so they can go right back if they can't get it. I think they'll probably go back to Foster Powell, or maybe just Wickersham will keep it himself, but they come out on pistol.
So Wickersham with Foster Powell in the backfield again. It'll again be a handoff to Foster Powell, and he did not get it. Okay, gain about 1, so it'll be 4th down, and Richmond is going to go for it.
Yeah, and there's no movement from the Richmond sideline. They're staying on the field.
Let's see what formation they decide to get into. Bunch formation here with Wickersham going under center. He's gonna call a QB sneak, and he's gonna get it. That'll be about a gain of about 2 on the play. So and that's enough for Richmond first down.
Yeah, not exactly a tush push. Lehigh just didn't have enough resistance to keep Wickersham away. Wickersham's a big guy out there, and he had all the experience necessary to get that 4th down conversion.
So first down 10 for the Richmond Spiders at the Lehigh 28 now. And it looks like there's a little, and Richmond looks like making some substitutions.
Late substitution.
Yeah. And now with 5 seconds on the play clock, take the snap, hand off to Foster Powell, and he'll get taken down for a loss of about 2.
Yeah, Wickersham also fell down after that handoff, so I'm wondering if there was a little bit of mix-up on that mesh. But that whole play was bad for Richmond with the confusing substitutions. Everything looked a little hassled out there.
So 2nd down and 12 now for the Spiders after a nice stop by the Mountain Hawks. Again, Wickersham, Foster pound the backfield. It's and like that all day. Get back to pass, looking downfield. And he's going to get sacked. On the tackle there, I believe, off the edge was TJ Burke on the sack, the interior defensive lineman from Delaware, and that pushes Richmond way back, and it pushes them out of field goal range.
Definitely out of field goal range. That was a really well-designed blitz by Lehigh. They showed a 4-man front with 3 linebackers, seemingly just a standard formation. But right as they were about to take the snap, the linebackers creeps up, crashing off the edge, and that gave TJ Burke a free line to the quarterback.
So back to passes with Christian again. He'll do a screen pass this time, and it'll go nowhere. In fact, there'll be a loss of about 2, and the tackle on that play will be number 28, Luke Denny.
Yeah, absolutely no confusion there for Lehigh. It looked like Richmond was just trying to get a few yards back to maybe try a field goal with a screen pass, but Lehigh snuffed it out right away, and Richmond is going to be punting again from inside Lehigh territory. That's happened in back-to-back drives. So they've been able to get a couple chunk plays on each drive, but not able to do much with it.
So be 4th down and 23 for the Spiders after all that. The punt is away. And Jamie is going to let it go, and it's going to bounce. It's going to take a Lehigh bounce, and it'll be down at about their own 13-yard line.
Yeah, Lehigh's defense, like we talked about in the pregame, is really led by their senior defensive linemen in TJ Burke and Matt Spatney. They're the ones that get most of the plaudits, but also don't count out the other seniors out there in Quinton Joyner and Tyler Ojasaki, who are really playing well out there right now.
So we're going to go another commercial break. 4:19 left to go in the first quarter. We'll be right back in an entertaining game between Richmond and Lehigh. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 0-0 with 4:19 left to go in the first quarter in this Page League opener between Lehigh and Richmond. And Lehigh will have the ball on their own 13-yard line. This is an interesting formation coming out of the timeout. Looks like it's going to be Jane Green and Matt Mahalik in the backfield with Hayden Johnson. So maybe one of those run packages you were talking about with Mahalik.
Yeah, I was mentioning earlier, Matt Mahalik does get a lot of snaps as a running quarterback. Now, usually he takes a snap, but he's going to hand it off here.
Ooh, and that was not a good play call. And that'll be a big loss. And that'll be a loss of about 4 on that.
Yeah, I think Richmond did their homework. New Mahalik often came in there as a second quarterback as a running play, and nothing really went Lehigh's way on that one.
So he's 2nd down 14 now for the Mountain Hawks, and maybe try and get a little too fancy on that.
Lehigh doesn't need to get it all back here, just need to make it a little bit more manageable for 3rd down.
So we Hayden Johnson Yoder in the backfield this time. A little bit of more classic formation here for the Mountain Hawks. Johnson, he'll take it. Looking to pass. He'll fire it. It's caught by Nick Williams. He'll get some of that back. It'll be third down about 6 for the Mountain Hawks as they get to their own 18.
Yeah, Lehigh calls that kind of play a lot. They allowed Johnson to use his legs and move the pocket. So that play action allowed him a little bit more space to operate, and he found his check down for a nice enough gain to make third down a little bit more manageable.
So it'll be third down now 7 for Mountain Hawks. Yoder in the backfield with Johnson. Johnson back to pass, looking downfield. He'll fire, and it is
Intercepted.
Intercepted by number 29, C.J. Frazier, and Richmond will now get a first. And Richmond will now get a first down deep into Lehigh territory at the Mountain Hawk 27. So like you mentioned earlier, Hayden Johnson's decision making needs to get a little better, and that was not a great decision right there.
Yeah, he's throwing into a tight area. It did hit Lehigh hands. I believe it was Joffrey Jamiel. He wasn't able to hold on to it, and it went right into the Richmond's defenders. But yeah, maybe a little bit too much risk to take in the first quarter from Johnson. A lot of pressure once again on Lehigh's defense, who has to defend in their own territory.
So it'll be Wickersham and Foster in the backfield, and a screen pass and a nice tackle there from I believe was number 11 Matt Spatney.
Yeah, Lehigh's doing a good job as Richmond looked to try to get little quick passes out there. They just got off their blocks that time, and really nothing that the Richmond receiver could do.
So it'll be second down 9. It's for the Spiders. They've had a lot of success so far in their own part of the field, but once again, the Lehigh territory, they've had a little trouble moving the ball.
They've had 2 chunk plays for about 20 yards each.
Back to pass, looking downfield, looking fires, and it will be complete for about a yard. That'll be to number 5, Javion Griffin. It'll be third down, and it'll be third down and about 7.
That was a really impressive catch by Griffin, but he really had nowhere to go because of the pass by Wickersham. Blanket coverage by Lehigh that time.
So third down 7 here, and I imagine you're probably borderline field goal range for Bonzer. So we'll see what they do if they don't get the first down. So back to pass again is Wickersham. He throws to the outside, is caught, and that'll be enough for a first down.
Just barely got it. It looked like the far side sideline judge thought he might be short, but the near side came and gave a first down signal.
So now for the first time today, the Spiders will be in the red zone, and it'll be first down and 10 from about the Lehigh 16. Richmond's taking a little more time now, get some substitutions in. So Wickersham with Foster Powell in the backfield. Wickersham on a trick play here, and now going to the end zone and just short will be number 10 Isaiah Dawson on a bit of a trick play there. And now Richmond at the Lehigh 1 yard line.
Yeah, that was a good play design by Richmond. Wickersham handed it out to Foster Powell, who then flipped it back to Isaiah Dawson, and there was clearly confusion on the part of Lehigh. They just had no idea where the ball was at, and some nice blocking by Richmond, and now they've totally set up at 1st and 1.
Wickersham with Foster Powell in the backfield. Handoff is to Foster Powell, and he will be in. And that is a touchdown for the Spiders, and there's a flag at the end, and that's gonna be, and it looks like that Richmond's gonna get on sportsmanlike conduct there.
Yeah, it'll be a dead spot foul, so it won't impact the touchdown. But both teams have been jarring all day. On that time, Wickersham just kept it himself, really basic QB power, and were just able to push their way into the end zone.
So it is a touchdown. That's by Wickersham. Another QB sneak there for them, and we'll see who it's on. So I'll push Richmond back on the kickoff. So That could potentially be a little damaging, but the Spiders strike first today. Bonzer will kick the extra point. Snap is away. The kick is up, and the kick is good. 7-0. 7-0 ball game here from the 7-0 ball game here as Richmond strikes first, and there's really nothing the Lehigh defense could honestly do there. There was there really was nothing Lehigh defense could really do there after once getting put in a fairly precarious position due to the interception by Hayden Johnson.
Yeah, that was Lehigh's defense has held up well most of today, but when you have to start that deep in your own territory, especially after you really only just got off the field a few minutes ago, Richmond had a little bit of new spark in their offense and was able to punch it in.
Mm-hmm. So now there's 4 seconds to go in the first quarter. It looks like there's going to be a quick break before the one kickoff before another commercial break.
Yeah, we're going to see how Lehigh's offense can respond after that. They really haven't been able to move the ball too well. They had their biggest gain was about 10 yards on a Hayden Johnson keeper. We'll see if maybe they return to that a bit more. I think they found success when they can get Hayden Johnson's legs moving as opposed to keeping him stationary. We really haven't seen much from either Luke Yoder or Jaden Green, who are expected to feature heavily in this game. So that's up to Coach Cahill to try to reinvigorate the offense and at least calm Johnson down after that interception.
Yep, exactly. And it looks. I'm wondering if they try maybe do a little more rollouts too, and see if again get Hayden Johnson's legs moving, and put more pressure on that defense.
Yeah, I mean the Lehigh's defense needs just a break at this point. They've been on the field for a majority of the game. They need some time to drink some water, lay down a little bit, and come back recalibrated. They haven't played too poorly. They've gotten several tackles for loss and 2 sacks, but when your offense really can't move the ball at all, there's not much your defense can do.
Yeah, exactly. Just not. Yeah, there really is a whole lot. The offense has got to get going for the Mountain Hawks at some point or another, and a bit of a slow. I mean, this was kind of a pattern we saw last year. Mountain Hawks are generally a better second half team than a first half team, and wondering if the pattern will continue, but just not. Just looks like Richmond has had Lehigh's number so far. So it'll be like Mass kicking off for Richmond, and it'll be from the 20-yard this time instead of the 35 due to the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Yeah, we'll see if Lehigh can maybe make some moves on this kick return. It looks like it'll be Jaden Green back there, at least as one of the returners.
Jane Green and Jeffy J-Mail on the return for the Mountain Hawks. Here's the kick. It'll go to about the 15. Green will take it out, looking for some space, and he will not find any. It'll get taken down about the Lehigh at the Lehigh 20, either the 29 or the 30. Both the there's a little bit of discrepancy between where the ball's actually at. So it will be down at the 30-yard line. So Lehigh will start their own 30 after this break. After the first score, Richmond leads 7-0. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 7-0 Richmond to start the second quarter. Lehigh getting the ball back after a Richmond touchdown, and let's see if the Mount Hawk offense can finally get some traction against this Spider defense.
Yeah, Lehigh's only got 19 yards in that first quarter, so this offense really needs to come back together.
Johnson will hand off to Green, and Green is gonna he'll get a little bit out of that, some yards after contact. I'm sorry, that's Yoder, and that'll be a 2-yard gain and it'll be 2nd down and 8.
These refs are letting them play a little bit as they debatable when the forward motion really stops, but that's leading to a little bit of extracurriculars after each play.
Yeah. Honestly, I would probably prefer that than stopping it too early and try and more police it more than rather than let them play it out.
We'll see if they try to get Johnson moving a little bit here, maybe on another play action RPO.
So another handoff to Yoder, and he'll get about 3 out of 3 that time. It'll be third. Or I'm sorry, that's Crossley. Actually, that's been Crossley out there the last 2 plays. So that's the 3rd string running back for the Mountain Hawks. Interesting. It'll be Jaden Green coming out now for them. I'm curious where Yoder was in that play.
Yeah, he may have had a slight issue that we didn't really see, or maybe just trying to give someone else a couple carries to see if they can provide a spark for Lehigh, because the traditional game plan hasn't worked so far.
So 3rd down 5 here. Johnson back to pass, looking to the middle, and that's going to be incomplete. And now Alex will be forced to punt again. Not a great start. Not a great way to start the second quarter if you're Lehigh.
Yeah, it was a pretty simple play, just a quick slant action looking for Jeffrey Jamil. That would have been around the line to gain. I'm not sure if he would have been exactly there. Kind of feel like you gotta hope your upperclassman receiver can hold on to that one, but it's a drop, and Lehigh will have to punt again.
So Connor Poole, this will be his 3rd time out today.
His first punt was a nice one for 56 yards. We'll see if he repeats that one this time.
So snap is away. Here's the kick, and it's a pretty good one as well. It takes a Lehigh bounce, and tackled at the 28 will be fair. And again, especially this play has been solid for the Mountain Hawks so far, and it'll be 1st down 10 for the Spiders from their own 28. And we'll have another commercial break. 13:20 left to go in the second quarter. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 7-0 Richmond as they get the ball back after a 3-and-out from the Mountain Hawks, who just can't seem to get any footing on offense, and they've only had 1 first down on the day.
Yeah, right now Lehigh looks like Iowa out there. Their MVP is their punter currently, Connor Poole. relying once again on the stout defense to try to slow down the Spiders.
So Wickersham, he will take it himself, and the Mountain Hawks aren't tricked by it, and he will get stopped for about 1.
Yeah, they had some jet action to play fake. It's Isaiah Dawson, who had a huge gain on the last drive that set Wickersham and the Spiders at the Lehigh's 1-yard line. But Lehigh wasn't fooled that time. They've ran a lot of kind of QB power concepts for Wickersham, and Lehigh hopefully is starting to catch on.
So again, Foster Powell with Wickersham in the backfield. Wickersham takes a snap and a handoff to Foster Powell, and he will go nowhere on that. So that'll be a gain of nothing. That'll be a gain of nothing. It'll be 3rd down 9.
Another good job by Lehigh to contain Richmond there. We'll see if they bring some more pressure. They brought it once on a 3rd down in Richmond's territory, or we'll see if they stay home. They're showing 2 high safeties, so seemingly staying home.
So 3rd and 9 here for Richmond, and Lehigh looking for a big stop here. And looks like they could blitz here again.
They got 6 people on the line,
and they go with 4 and try and get back there, and it's be incomplete. And I'm surprised there was no holding call on that penalty because number 92, Dylan Sheehan was being mauled and no call, but regardless, incomplete, and the Mallows will get the ball back anyways.
Yeah, especially looking at it on the replay screen, it seems like a pretty obvious call, but doesn't end up meaning much as the play call is incomplete and Lehigh getting the ball back. Another great 3-and-out by Lehigh's defense. They've looked totally up to billing so far today.
So 4th down 9, Richmond will punt. Back to see will be Jamie on Green. Kick is away, and it's going to be to Jamie, who's got back up a little bit on it. He'll take it, and he will go to about the Lehigh zone 27. And now Lehigh will get the ball back again, and we'll have another commercial break again. There'll be 12 minutes left to go in the 2nd quarter between Lehigh and Richmond. Richmond up 7-0. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 1st and 10 for Lehigh at their own 26. After 3-and-out for the Spiders, and Lehigh once again really trying to get their offense going. And what I'm noticing so far is they've been kind of one-dimensional, doing mostly run plays rather than passing the ball.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword because you want to get the ball to Yoder and Green as they're 2 of your more dynamic players, and you just want them to have touches. But you also need to have a little bit more confidence for Hayden Johnson. He hasn't really been able to do much in the air, and I think it's getting to him. Need to give him some quick completions, maybe a screen pass, and you can get Yoder and Green involved in the passing game like that as well.
So Johnson will take it. He'll be back to pass. He'll fire downfield. It is caught by Humphrey. And that's going to be it for a gain of about, that'll be for a gain of about 5.
Yeah, that's what Lehigh needed. Lehigh and Johnson needed there. A really simple play, just run out, come back, and it's really hard to guard as a defense because you have to respect someone like Humphrey's speed downfield, especially with his height. Humphrey is 6'4", but on a play like that, it's pretty easy for a completion.
And they're giving them a ton of space too. Not to mention on the pass. So might as well take advantage of that.
Well, they seem to be giving a big gap again this time with not a whole lot of safety help.
So 2nd down and 5. It'll be a handoff to Green this time. Little sloppy handoff, and he's not gonna get anywhere on that.
And there's been a couple times there seemed to be a little bit of miscommunication on that handoff between before Lehigh, and that actually wasn't even Hayden Johnson, the starter. That was the backup, Matt Mihalik, who came in for a snap. Like we said earlier, he has a couple of running packages so I imagine that might have just been a straight read option or a handoff.
So we 3rd down 5, and I'm curious to see what they would try and roll out this time, as again they're just not a lot of traction on offense.
Well, again, not a whole lot of high safety help for Richmond. I mean, you don't want to take a shot usually on 3rd down, but it might be what's open.
So 3rd down 5. Johnson back to pass. He's looking, fires downfield wide open, and is overthrown. Wide open down the field was number 13, Logan Galetta, and a big missed opportunity there for the Mountain Hawks, and they're once again going to be forced to punt.
Yeah, like I was saying, there wasn't a whole lot of safety help for Richmond, and it was a good route concept as Galetta just kind of ran across the field with one-on-one man coverage. He had a step on his man, and Johnson just led him a little bit too far out there. That's the kind of stuff that happens in your first game of the year. But if you want Johnson to really take that next step and just be able to hit that and put the ball in the basket time in and time out.
So it'll be Logan Poole punting for the Mountain Hawks. Punt is away, and it's a little bit of squibber this time, and it's a line drive, and this is not a good punt. And this is and out of bounds at the Lehigh 43 now was fair after Poole had been so good all day. He kind of boots a short line drive to fair, and he gets a lot back on that.
Yeah, this is going to give Richmond ideal position to operate at about Lehigh's 40-yard line. Not where you want the Mountain Hawks to be after another lackluster drive.
So it'll be 1st down and 10 from the Mountain Hawk 43 for Richmond, and Lehigh Evans once again looking for another stop. Right back, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 7-0 Richmond as they have the ball again in Lehigh territory. They'll be starting off the Lehigh 44 after yet another 3 and out from the Mountain Hawk offense, and Richmond getting a good punt return off of a little bit of a line drive punt by Poole.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard you never really want to blame a punter because Lehigh's offense just really hasn't done much. I think they're maybe up to 30 yards today, but you need something more.
QB sneaker for Wickersham, and he'll get He'll get about 3 out of that.
Yeah, Wickersham's been using his legs a lot today. A little bit of a different design. They've been running a lot of QB power, but they had some motion, a little more spread out of an offensive line, and that was allowed Wickersham to have a bit more space to operate. We'll see if they do that a little bit more in the second quarter.
So 2nd down and 7 now for Richmond. Wickersham gets it again, hands off to, or actually keeps it himself, and he's going to keep driving, and he'll get about two out of that.
Yeah, so another nice mesh there by Wickersham to just kind of confuse Lehigh's defense, keep them stationary for a little bit, and give them more space to operate. But it's going to be about 3rd and 5 here, so another chance for Lehigh's defense to get off the field.
Although I'm curious if they don't get honestly, I think it's gonna be 4 down territory here for Richmond, especially considering how the Mount Hawk offense has played so far. Wickersham back to snap, and let's see what. It's gonna be a false start on Richmond. And actually, that's gonna be a false start on Quayne Venny, the wide receiver. So we'll push them back to 3rd and 10.
Yeah, now they're definitely out of field goal range. It would be an intriguing 4th down decision for Richmond, depending on how much they get here. If they don't get anything, I think they're probably going to punt it. But if they get about 5 or so yards, I think they may go for it.
So 3rd down and 10 now for Richmond, and that could potentially be a pretty big penalty there. Wickersham back to pass, looking downfield. He'll fire, and that's going to be caught. And that's going to be a 1st down. And missed tackling by Lehigh will allow number 5. Will be allowed Javon Griffin to get all the way down to Lehigh 27.
That was a nice job by Wickersham to stand in the pocket and just wait for Griffin to come over the field, or the middle of the field. Really the first time I've seen Lehigh's defense break down a bit with a wide open player and some missed tackles. Not what you want to see in the film room tomorrow morning.
So 1st down 10 for Richmond after a after a 17-yard play. Handoff to Powell, and he'll get to the 20-yard line. Not so great tackling there from Mountain Hawks. It'll be 2nd down and 2.
Yeah, Wickersham's success running the ball definitely allowed a bit more of easy running lanes there for Jerome Powell. And I think after the first quarter, Richmond seems to have made a change to make their offense a little bit more spread out, fewer bunch packages. And I think that's giving them more success against Lehigh's defensive front.
So Wickersham, 2nd down and 3 now. Wickersham, he'll take it. He will take it himself, and let's see, he'll get about 4 out of that, and that'll be a 1st down.
Yeah, again, Lehigh's defensive front doesn't seem to be as stout as it was in the first quarter. I imagine that might partly just be because of fatigue, considering how few offensive plays Lehigh's been able to run, just not really giving their defense a chance to rest and reset.
Again, no huddle is Richmond here. That also has something to do with it. Just going really quickly, I think that also has something to do with it.
Almost definitely.
Wickersham, he'll take a little high snap. He'll hand off to Powell, and he will bounce off a few tacklers. And he's going to get all the way down to the 7-yard line. Poor tackling by the Mountain Hawks there. And that leads to a gain of 9 when it probably should have been a gain about 1.
Yeah, it looked like he was dead in the water right away, but he just kept going, kept moving the legs, and then got a nice couple of pushes from his offensive lineman. But again, Lehigh's at halftime's got to reset and get their tackling back in order and do something with the offense.
2nd down 2 now, actually. It's gain about 8.
Wickersham wants some adjustment.
Wickersham, here's a snap. He'll go off to Powell, and he'll get a gain of about 2. It looks like he's just short of the 1st down. 3rd down 1. I think it's a gain of 1 there.
About half the length of the football. So I imagine not only will we see another run up the middle from Richmond, I think it's definitely 4 down territory if they don't get it.
Yeah, I imagine if they don't get it here, I imagine they're going to do QB sneak again, and this time he will be. Did he get it? I don't know. I I don't know. No signal just yet.
It looked like he slipped a little bit, and I'm not sure how far he rolled. They're signaling
Actually,
fourth down.
so
At least on the sideline, they have the fourth down sign up.
they're gonna be. So it looks like it's gonna be, or they're looks like they're gonna measure it. So that it looked, yeah, because when you, like you said, it looked like he slipped on. It looked like he slipped when he was trying to run that QB sneak. He might have been able to get enough momentum to give himself the first down, but we'll see. Either way it goes, I don't think you could really review that and get a great enough of an angle to do that. Maybe from the right sideline, but that's about it.
Well, I think we're just gonna get some change right here to see how far he got.
Let's see. So he is going to be just short. Yep.
Knows the football did not get there.
So it'll be fourth down about an inches.
I wouldn't be surprised if they call the exact same play, or maybe a little bit of QB power, or just hand it off to Jerome Powell. Both of them have looked really good in this drive.
So a big play, a big fourth down here for both these teams. And I would think honestly, you could honestly just theoretically run it again. There's no reason you can't.
Yeah, that's what I would expect them to do. I think he would have got the first down had he not slipped. We'll see what they come out with. They're in shotgun. I imagine they'll kind of do that QB power, RB power, whatever, and see how it goes, or they'll QB sneak.
If they're looks like they're gonna Wickersham, he'll call it out again, and this time he gets it. That'll go down about the Lehigh 4-yard line. Not Wickersham's too big of a guy to be able to stop there. I mean, it's kind of like Jalen Hurts with the tush push. You can't. It's with a strong guy like that, you really can't. It's extraordinarily hard to stop.
Well, that time it looked like he got a nice little push from his running back, Aziz Foster Powell. It looked like he was close on his own, but once he got that push, he was well over the line to gain.
First and goal for Richmond.
A few times we see Richmond huddled.
I think just because you're within the 5-yard, you're within the 5-yard line, you might as well do that. Oh, and the snap goes over Wickersham's head. He's gonna fall on, but that's gonna be a loss of 18 yards.
It wasn't even close on that time. Went well over his head, and they're fortunate to be able to follow onto it because Lehigh was gaining quickly. Yeah. Wickersham almost lost it there at the end as well, but a disaster play for the Spiders, and it might have just saved the Mountain Hawks from going down 2 touchdowns.
So he's second down now, 23 for the for the Spiders after a bit of a disaster play there. So 2 men in the backfield with Wickersham. He'll hand off this time to Aziz Powell, and Aziz Powell will get to about the 19-yard line, a gain of 4.
Carry Richmond.
You know, I always wonder as an offensive coordinator, do you have plays called? You have play is in the playbook for 3rd and goal from the 19. I wonder what part of what tab that one's under. Do you go under with a goal line play, or you maybe just throw the ball a little bit here? I have to imagine they'll either aim to try to go for the touchdown, go for the pylons, or maybe just set themselves up for a little bit of an easier field goal, because even from here it'll be about a 35-yard field goal.
Yeah, so not the easiest one in the world. So 3rd down 19, they're gonna do a screen pass this time. The tight end, who will be taken down about the 15-yard line. That'll be number 87, Sean Clark.
And it looks like they will go field goal. We thought before the game it was going to be the freshman Jackson Bonser, for Richmond, but it looks like it's going to be Will McManus instead.
So first and goal there for Richmond seemed to have bit them a little bit there. So it'll be about a 35-yard field goal. Kick is away, and the kick is a little weird kick, and that's going to be no good. Wow. And the Richmond Spiders at the Lehigh 4 come away with nothing. What a turn of events here at Goodman Stadium, and Manhawks are back in business.
Yeah, McManus had kicked their extra point earlier, and he looked a little uncomfortable doing so. And that time, it really wasn't even close as he missed wide to the right. And not even that, he didn't even get that much height on it. So not sure if he felt comfortable at all kicking that field goal.
You have to wonder if it might be the grass field because Richmond, I believe, has a turf field, so that could have something to do with it. It's not the grass field's not the easiest on kickers. So, but either way, it works out for the Mountain Hawks, and now they'll get the ball back, and now with some momentum on their side. So 2:22 have to go in the second quarter. First down for the Mountain Hawks at about their own 20.
Mountain Hawks deferred in the first half, so this could be a big drive.
So hand off to Jay and Green. Green has some space, and Jay and Green down the sideline, and he was taken down at about their own at their own 47. I'm sorry, their own 49, and Mountain Hawks finally break one open there.
By far their biggest play of the day, and they were just sticking with their run. They gave it to Jaden Green. He may be listed as the backup running back, but he's no backup for Lehigh. And that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. The loudest the student section's probably been since kickoff.
So 2-minute warning, but now the Mountain Hawks looks like they're finally getting some momentum on their side. Be right back. You don't want to miss this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 7-0 Richmond at the 2-minute warning, but Lehigh now with the ball at their own 49. Usually the furthest they've gotten today on the field.
Yeah, the biggest gain of the game and the furthest down the field they've been. We'll see what's in the 2-minute drill for Lehigh and Hayden Johnson. Obviously, their first of the year, so looking to see some nice progress from last year where they were quite good in it.
So first and 10. So it'll be I believe it's Johnson with Yoder in the backfield. Nick Williams is back there for a second, but he'll get back up on the line in a shotgun formation. Mahalik,
Kind of notion.
Cat formation. Johnson back to pass, firing downfield, and it will be caught by Jeffrey Jamil at the Richmond 28.
That's exactly what you want from Johnson. That's where he's at his best, like we were saying earlier. Getting his legs moving a bit in the open field, and then he was able to find Jamil, who's had 2 drops today. It was also a nice motion from Mahalik, who came around the end. And for a second, it looked like Richmond was a little confused in the water, but a nice throw by Johnson.
Looks like Lehigh trying to go a little bit more up-tempo here, a la Richmond offense a little bit. So first down from the Richmond 27. Johnson back to pass. He'll fire the sideline. It's complete. It's number 80. It's number 80 in Kevin Johnson. I'm sorry, Matt Davina, for the first year, and the sophomore, and that'll be a first down from Alex again. Now they're in the red zone.
Yeah, and again, that they've been giving Lehigh a lot of space. Richmond has, dropping their corners very far back as a way to bring their safeties higher up into the box. And so it's a good adjustment by Lehigh to just basically take that. And again, Richmond's giving them a whole lot of space on the outside, so they might just keep going back to it.
So Johnson with Green in the backfield. Johnson back to pass again. He'll fire over the middle, caught to Jeffrey Jamil, and that'll be a gain of about 5.
It's another good gain from Lehigh. 3 straight completions for Hayden Johnson. a nice start to this drive with about 1:30. So Lehigh has the clock here if they want to maybe do a run or something again like that over the middle of the field. They still have all 3 timeouts as well.
That's very true. So they're running down the clock. So they're gonna try to not give Richmond any more time than they need here.
And again, Lehigh receives the ball to start the second half, so they're looking to go 2 for 1 right here.
Johnson back to pass again. He's looking, fires toward the sideline. It is incomplete.
Looked like he had Jaden Green streaking clean free in the end zone, but he got a little sidetracked on Jeffrey J. Mill. I think if he had a little bit of a better vision there, been a little more patient, he would have had Green for an easy score.
So now 3rd down 6 here with 1:03 to play.
So that's why I thought they may run the ball there, give themselves at least a little bit more diversity on the 3rd down, because if you had run there, gotten 2 or 3 yards, now you're in 3rd and 3, you have more options, but 3rd and 6, you're going to have to throw the ball.
So now Green with Johnson in the backfield. Johnson calling out a play. Take the snap, back to pass again. Looking, fire, screen pass to Green, and Green is wide open to the end zone for the touchdown. A 13-yard screen pass from Johnson to Green gets him Alex right back in business with a chance to tie on the extra point.
Great job by Lehigh there. Totally fooled Richmond. Totally fooled me. Johnson took about 5 extra steps than normal. Looked like he was completely lost, but Green kept himself open, and it was a simple, basically walk-in for Green. Some nice blocking from the offensive line as Lehigh looks to tie the game.
So, getting in that weird formation for the extra point, just in case anything might be there, but they're gonna get right back in the traditional one. Nick,
it's a Kevin Cahill staple. You've got to do it.
Yeah, of course. Nick Garrido will attempt the extra points. That kick is up, and the kick is good. We're all tied up at 7, ladies and gentlemen. 56 seconds to play left in the second quarter, and quite a turn of events with the Richmond up 7-0 at the Lehigh 4-yard line, but unable with the bad snap, missed field goal, and the Mountain Hawks also figure out on offense. Game's all tied up.
Yeah. Like you said, Richmond was all the way down. They seemed to be inevitably going to score, definitely at least a field goal. But then out of nowhere, Lehigh started. Richmond had a high snap way over his head, took him back to the 25-yard line. After 2 plays to make it a shorter field goal, Will McManus for Richmond missed the kick. And then Aiden Johnson just led a brilliant 2-minute drive. But give credit to Jaden Green. He started that drive with about a 25-yard run and then also finished that drive with a nice screen pass in for the touchdown. So Johnson and Green looking like they have some great chemistry as Lehigh is going to try to hold on for the next 50 seconds and try to get the ball back in the second half.
And Connor Poole will be kicking off again, and just great play calling there by the Mountain Hawks. So Poole kicks it away, and it's gonna go, and that ball will go in the end zone, and it'll be first down time for Richmond at the 25. So Connor Poole's got a bit more of a boot than than last year, from what I can remember. So he definitely has improved in that area.
Hey, they say a lot of wide receivers go and hit the weight room after their freshman year. Connor Poole was definitely hitting the weight room, but maybe doing some squats or something, calf raises. And yeah, like you said, he's got a nice and big boot. I'm very interested to see what Richmond does here. Wickersham has been very successful with his legs, as has his running back, Aziz Foster Powell. But with 50 seconds left in the first half, he's going to have to air it out a little bit. We'll see what Lehigh does.
So 1st and 10 here. And that'll be a straight handoff, and that's not going to go for much. It'll go for about 2, and let's see what Richmond tries to do here. They don't really seem that interested in trying to at least get something out of this, so looks like that.
It looked like they've been as slow as they've been all day, and I'm almost surprised Lehigh's not calling timeout.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I do it here, but like at this point, yeah, Richmond looks pretty content with just taking it into the locker room, all tied up.
See if maybe they take a shot here with the clock winding down, but I expect them to run it again.
Yeah, Wickersham's looking at the clock right now. Let's run under 20 seconds. And it's going to be straight handoff here to Foster Powell, who'll get about 3 on that one. And that looks like that'll do it for the first half. So quite a defensive affair for both these teams, but Richmond unable to convert on a lot of prime opportunities and put the Mounthawks away. Have let them back in the game, and game's all tied up as they in the locker room with all tied up at 7. So this is kind of so. I don't know if this is exactly what we were expecting. We were expecting a pretty close game here, and for it to be pretty competitive.
Yeah, been a bit of a slugfest, but remember last year in the FCS playoffs, the final score was 20-16, so a low-scoring affair there too. Looks like this one is set for another one of those matchups. Lehigh's offense looked completely dormant for most of the first half, but in that last 2-minute drill really came alive. We'll see which Lehigh's offense comes out in the second half, the first one or the second one. Hopefully Hayden Johnson and Jaden Green continue on their success, and we'll see some more highlights from the Lehigh offense.
So with that, we will be taking a break ourselves and going to our I would say theoretical locker room, but we really don't have a locker room. We're going back up to the press box for halftime. So we'll be back in about 15 minutes. Yeah, I'm not gonna go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. You should not either. Right back. Back, ladies and gentlemen, we're just about to start the third quarter between the Lehigh Mountain Hawks and the Richmond Spiders in this Patriot League opener, which kind of has gone the way we expected in some ways and not. I think we both expected a little more offense from these teams, but it's also been a very competitive game, which we were expecting.
I mean, it's clear it's been the first game of the season for both teams. I mean, there's been some missed tackles, some confusion out there. We had the bot snap by Richmond that gave Lehigh life, a missed field goal by Richmond. So it's kind of depending on how you look at this, it's either Richmond's been the far better team. They have had a lot more yards of offense. They've had a lot more time on offense. And they're only tied because of a few miscommunications. Or you say that Lehigh's done exactly what their game plan said to on defense, to bend but not break. And now they're just hoping for Hayden Johnson to build off of that 2-minute drive where he really did look like the quarterback of last year. Last year, he never really did anything necessarily spectacular, but he took the easy reads and they were there. He was able to move around the pocket, make some things happen with his legs, and then lean on some of the more electric playmakers he has, like Jaden Green, as well as some of his receivers like Gabriel.
Actually, looking at these first half stats, Richmond definitely got more. I will say that, but not as more, not much, not like it's not as big of a gap as you would think. In terms of total offense, Richmond is 133 yards, Lehigh is 109. But you also have to factor in that they did have a huge loss on that botch snap. But also Lehigh is, well, you could argue, has played much better on defense. They've had more sacks than Richmond, and they had more tackles for loss.
Well, and some statisticians may not like that I'm going to say this, but Lehigh's won the special teams battle today, and right now that could be the difference.
So kick is away, and Green will just fair catch it in the end zone. So Lehigh will start off at their own 25. A little more fighting, which has been, I think, going on all day. I think there's still some feelings from last year's game where Lehigh had a dramatic win over them in FCS playoffs.
Yeah, it was a big upset from Lehigh. And even from the first snap of this game, they've been jawing back and forth at each other. There was an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty called on Richmond after their touchdown. So I think that's going to continue throughout the rest of the game, especially if this game goes down to the wire, which I expect it to.
So first down 10, Johnson, Yoder in the backfield in the shotgun. Let's see if they continue what they did on their last drive. And Yoder up the middle. He'll get some yards after contact here, and he'll get about 5 yards out of that actually. Definitely looked like he was stopped in the backfield, but able to fight for some more yards.
Yeah, Luke Yoder really didn't feature that heavily in the first half. I'm not on my stat sheet here. I'm almost thinking it's a mistake because I'm not seeing any rushing yards for Luke Yoder in the first half. He had some in the receiving game, but looking to get him going for Lehigh in this second half.
Yeah, I think you're correct on that. So it'll be Johnson in the backfield actually by himself.
I don't see this often.
No, they do not. So Johnson back to pass, looking downfield. And he's going to scramble to his right. He's going to fire downfield. It's caught by Jamiel. And he'll be tackled at the Lehigh 42-yard line. So a nice scramble drill from Johnson to pick up 12 yards.
It was kind of his signature play. No, nothing's open downfield. Everyone looked, the pocket collapse. He steps up, runs to his right, and then a nice shot. He kept his eyes downfield, and he had a good chemistry with Jamiel. It looked like Jamiel thought about moving away from his spot, but he knew that Johnson was looking for him, and a nice grab.
So first down 10 for the Mountain Hawks. Johnson takes the snap, hand off to Green. Green looking for some space in the middle. He's got some, and he will be tackled after a gain of about 12, and he will be tackled at the Richmond 46.
That was a great jump cut from Jaden Green at the line of scrimmage. He looked like he was going to get stuck dead in the water, and then he just cut it back to the right and found a whole new rushing lane. Pretty much all of the Lehigh offensive line washed down Richmond's defensive line to the left-hand side, leaving Green a huge hole to run into.
Again, another first down. Lehigh, and the offense looks like it's getting some more confidence over these last two drives. So Green again in the backfield with Johnson. Another handoff to Green. Green looking for some space up the middle. He won't get as much this time. It'll go for about 2 yards. So he's second down 8.
Not as big, not much space that time for Green to run into it. It looks like he'll get he'll check out of the game to catch his breath as Yoder comes back in. Definitely been surprised at how much more Green has featured compared to Yoder.
I would agree. I would agree with. I mean, yeah, I would agree with that because Jane Green's generally more of a third down passing running back. Yoder's more of the guy you put in first and second down for run plays.
Green's athleticism though has definitely been a bright spot.
Johnson back to pass again, looking downfield to fire, and it's going to be incomplete. But we have a flag here, and that's going to be pass interference. And I would say it's probably the right call. He was getting mauled there.
Yeah, looked like that was just a little bit too much conduct by Richmond.
So so it'll be placed at the Richmond 36, which will it's not like first down for Lehigh, and it would be enough anyways if it weren't.
Yeah, that was C.J. Frazier. I mean, I see his argument. He was good, but he was getting a little just too handsy with Jamiel. And when Jamiel came back to catch the ball, there was really no clear path for him to do so, and that's his pass interference. Good job by Johnson though to lean on his receiver in Jamiel, who they definitely seem to have a connection with so far this game.
So again, another first down for the Mountain Hawks. Johnson with Yoder in the backfield.
More bunch formation from Lehigh this time.
Johnson pulling off to Yoder up the middle. Yoder has some space, and Yoder, he'll get to about the Richmond 29.
Yeah, like we were saying, Green's usually more of the scat back who likes to run into space. Yoder's able to run into the contact, and on that play, he ran right into the masses, and a huge hole opened up for him to get 4 yards or so, and then he bounced it a little bit more for 7.
Matt DeVino checking in for Garrett Guess. So it looks like more of a passing style formation here.
It's like Lehigh's got one-on-one on the top of the field if Johnson wants it.
It's Marlon Humphrey. I mean, that'd be a good place to take a shot.
6'4" receiver.
Back to pass. Johnson look at that way. Fires to the end zone. It is incomplete, and no flag this time. He had him one-on-one, and he's a little slower to get up.
Yeah, it looked like Johnson just needed to throw that ball a little bit higher so only Humphrey could catch it. It kind of died just a little bit too soon. It was pretty good placement of a throw, though. I like the confidence, though, from the young quarterback to take that shot, especially on 2nd and 3 when you know you have 3rd down to go.
Again, I like the play call. I like the aggressiveness from the Mountain Hawks there. I agree with you on that. And we kind of figured out what it was when it started off.
Well, yeah, I mean, as soon as they had Humphrey one-on-one, you just have to take that shot. He's such a good pass catcher. So
3rd down 3 here from Alex Johnson back to pass. Screen pass now will be incomplete to DeVino after a bit of a high throw. And let's see what the Mountain Hawks elect to do here.
It's like they're staying out there.
Yeah, it would make sense. Little surprised they went with a passing play there if there was 4 down territory.
Yeah, it was a good play call. That's a throw Johnson's got to be able to make. He had a couple guys open, and he just sailed on him. You got to fizz that ball in there. I know it's a far side field throw, but that was an easy 1st down, and put yourself in a tough spot here on 4th and 3. It's not that you can't run it here, especially with how well Jaden Green's played, but I expect a pass.
So 4th down 3 here. Richmond looking for a stop. Johnson back to pass. Looks. Fires wide open to Jamal in the end zone. It is caught! Touchdown Lehigh! Unbelievable! Johnson the Johnson Jamiel connection continues on a big 4th down and 3 play to give the Mountain Hawks their first lead of the day.
I mean, on 2nd down, he took a shot to Humphrey, who had one-on-one coverage. Richmond showed man coverage again with no safety help for Jamiel, and that was just barbecue chicken for the Lehigh offense as he was wide open, had about 2 steps on his defender, and Johnson put it right in the bucket for the touchdown.
You got a barbecue back there? Hurting my feelings, man.
No Gus Johnson here today.
The extra point is up, and it is good, and the Mountain Hawks have a 14-7 lead after an opening drive touchdown to set the tone here in the 2nd half.
Yeah, Lehigh's offense definitely looks different than the 1st half and looks a lot more similar to what we saw in the 2-minute drill and at the end of last year. Johnson looks back to his normal self from scrambling around to easy passes, and then they're taking the deep shot to Jamiel. One-on-one coverage. I love the confidence in Johnson in the 2nd half. I got to imagine Coach Cahill said something to him earlier.
So after 2 key drops in the 1st half, Jamie has been great. Has been great for the back half of the second quarter. Start for third. We're right back, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. Back, ladies and gentlemen. 14-7 Lehigh with 11:18 left to go in the third quarter, and a great opening drive for the Mountain Hawks set the tone.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I said right before halftime we were going to see which Lehigh was going to be, the first one or the second one. We definitely got the second one. Hayden Johnson looked back to his usual self, and we finally got to see Luke Yoder feature a little bit more. Had a nice couple of gains. Jaden Green had some nice moments, but it was really that fourth down call. It was 4th and 3, just on the border of field goal range. Love the confidence from the Mountain Hawks, and Jeffrey Jamiel had a couple nice grabs, but the one for the touchdown was definitely the pick of the lot.
Connor Poole kick off right here for the Mountain Hawks, and looks like it will be returned this time, and taking it out, and now down the sideline is number 10 Jaden Fair, and he could go, and he will, and Richmond with a response right away with a kickoff return for a touchdown by Isaiah Dawson.
Yeah, I said earlier that Lehigh was winning the special teams contest, then Richmond just flipped it on its head. Isaiah Dawson was never really even close to being tackled as he just walked. He could have walked into the end zone there at the end of the whole convoy. He had a nice gain in the first half on a jet sweep end around, but yeah, just easy pickings for the Richmond special teams there.
Yeah, first time they didn't have a touchback on the kickoff, and now the Lehigh and now Richmond with the extra point will tie this game right back up.
Looks like we might have a different kicker now. Doesn't look like that's Will McManus anymore. I think that might be Jade Sheshki in there.
Interesting.
The graduate student.
A little bit of rotation here, and that kick will be good. Yes. So now game's all tied back up at 14, and that was not exactly what you wanted if you're the Mountain Hawks there. I don't think.
No, especially because of how well Lehigh's defense played in the first half. Would have liked to see them out there a little bit more, but good return there by Richmond, and an easy lane in for a touchdown that ties this game up. We're going to take a quick break as we have a commercial timeout here. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 14-14 after a kickoff return by a touchdown from Dawson to tie right back up. So Richmond needed a quick response, and that's probably the quickest way you could do it.
Yeah, Lehigh's going to have to respond again. Their defense was definitely their strong point in the first half, able to keep Richmond only to 7 points. But they're going to need their offense now to step up after Richmond tied it up 14-14. This playoff matchup last year was only 20-16 as a final score, so we may get a slightly higher scoring game this year.
And Jaden Green, he'll fair catch it. A pretty big boot there from their kicker in Will McManus.
Yeah, McManus struggled hitting extra point and the field goal in the first half. Maybe he needs to just return to basics and the kickoff specialist.
Maybe if it works, I mean, if that's what works for him, yeah.
See what the Lehigh offense comes out with. They had more passing success on that last drive, but Yoder and Jaden Green are really the main points of emphasis on this offense.
So first down 10 for Lehigh here, and Johnson Yoder will be in the backfield.
Wind certainly picking up here at Goodman campus.
So handoff to Green here up the middle, and you actually got more than I thought. About 4. I'm sorry, it's Luke Yoder.
It's kind of Yoder's specialty, getting a little bit more than you expect. He's able to keep his legs moving, keep churning, and can often get about a yard or two after contact, which is really key for this Lehigh offense to avoid getting stuck behind schedule and being in 2nd and 8s, 3rd and 8 situations. It's a lot easier on young quarterbacks like Hayden Johnson if he can have options on his 3rd downs.
Lehigh looking at the sideline for their play this time, going a little slower. So again, it'll be Yoder and Johnson in the backfield. Johnson this time back to pass, looking downfield. He can't find anyone. He's going to be sacked. Took a little too much time there in the backfield to fire, and Richmond, and that'll be Richmond's first sack of the day.
Yeah, I mean, there was just no one open. Blanket coverage for Richmond, and at a certain point, you got to tell Johnson to throw that ball away, or at least flush himself out of the pocket. But really nowhere to go with that football. At the very least, he didn't throw an interception by trying to force it into tight coverage. But like I was saying earlier, it's hard on young quarterbacks when they get behind the sticks, behind schedule, and now he's staring at a 3rd and 14.
So let's see. It'll be an empty backfield this time. Curious what they do. Might be I'm guessing maybe a screen pass. No, back to pass.
Downfield.
He's not going to find anyone. Actually, no, yeah, he will. He's got J-Meal, and that's going to be incomplete, but a flag. And that's going to be pass interference on the Spiders again.
Yeah, that was clear pass interference there. J-Meal got tripped up by the defender as he was reaching to make the grab. But what a great play by Johnson there. He has got no extra protection downfield, well, in the backfield. He gets flushed from the pocket to his left-hand side. He's throwing off-plan form across his body. Maybe it's not the smartest thing to do, but he launches it downfield, and he put it where his receiver can get it, and now it's a first down.
Yeah, and that's big because Richmond pretty much had Lehigh dead to rights on that drive. It looked like it was going to be 3, and now they get the ball back again. But now it gives Lehigh new life.
Yeah, not a spot foul in this division, so it's just a first down. It would have been nice if it was a spot foul in that case, but first down nonetheless.
Yeah, I think that was just that was more of a move of just desperation because if J-Mo caught that ball, there was a chance he was going in the end zone.
For sure.
Johnson rolling to his right, he'll fire over the middle, and that was not a great decision. It's incomplete, but threw into a lot of traffic there.
Yeah, that's where you got to tell Johnson to cool down a little bit. Got a little maybe too much overconfidence there. Just visit over the middle of the field. You never like throwing it across your body anyways. And yeah, he's going to check out of the game from a high look real quick. Maybe just a little time to calm down for a second.
So let's see. I would guess it could be a running play, but you never know. I mean, there's always a time where you try and run that kind of trick play.
Well, you have no Johnson.
Right, and let's see we got a penalty here. That's gonna be
Delayed game, I think.
Substitution. Okay, so that's illegal substitution on Lehigh, and that's and that'll be 2nd down, 15 now.
Yeah, now what you want to see, we'll see if Johnson comes back in now and moving on the sideline.
Nah, it looks like it's gonna be Matt Mahalik. So again, Lehigh getting pushed back. Lehigh now has a long way to go to get their first down, and it looks like it's gonna be Matt Mahalik and Jane Green in the back, or Luke Yor in the backfield. So
Jane Green is in the slot though, so I wouldn't be surprised if you see him involved in this play. Here goes in motion.
and he does, and he gets the ball, and he'll go on the outside, and he'll get to about the line of scrimmage, and it'll be about 3rd down and 9. Actually, got 6 on that.
Yeah, they ran a similar play to that in the first half that didn't really work at all, but this time he gets a nice chunk of it back to be 3rd and 9. Obviously, would have liked that to happen when it wasn't 2nd and 15, so that penalty is also not going to be one of those things that look good on film.
So now 3rd down 10, actually 3rd down 10. They moved it back a yard. So let's see if they can convert another 3rd and long here.
Humphrey again looks like he might have one-on-one coverage in the bottom.
Johnson back to pass, rolling to his right. He's got to run, and he's got to fire downfield, and that's going to be intercepted. Really bad decision there from Hayden Johnson. That'll be his 2nd INT of the day, and Richmond will get the ball at about their own 44.
Yeah, that was a terrible decision there by Johnson. He was looking good. It was a nice job to keep the play alive, but there you just got to live to fight another day. It's a lot easier on your defense if you can punt that ball, put Richmond back at least behind their own 20. But instead, you've just thrown it right into Richmond's hands at about the 45-yard line, and now they have the momentum. That's just one of those things that as you grow as a quarterback, you just can't make that decision. You got to either take the sack or throw it away.
So 8:26 left to go in the 3rd quarter. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Richmond with the ball now at their own 44 after another Hayden Johnson INT. And Richmond now looking to take the lead.
Yeah, this is the first time we're going to look at the Richmond offense this first half. Of course, they scored on their kick return. Kyle Wickersham, the senior, would look solid in the first half.
Back to pass is Richmond. Throw the outside. That pass is complete. And that'll go for about 8 yards to number 1, Quayne Venny. That'll be his first reception of the day.
Yeah, we didn't see a ton of that kind of play calling from Richmond in the first half. Those kind of quick out plays. I wonder if that's kind of going to be a point of emphasis of them to give Wickersham a little bit more confidence in this first game. A lot of their yards came on the ground in the first half.
So it looks like Richmond they're gonna make some substitutions here.
It's Jamal Brown coming off, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is a running play now.
So back to pass again. He'll take it himself, and he's gonna lose a few yards there. On the tackle, there will be Bryson Edwards. They'll be 3rd down, about 5 now.
Yeah, that was Richmond was trying to confuse Lehigh there. kind of a fake bubble screen for their running back, but Lehigh knew exactly where it was going. It was Wickersham taking it himself, which he did a lot in the first half, so it makes sense that they knew it was coming.
So 3rd down and 5. Lehigh looking to get off the field again after a Hayden Johnson INT. Wickersham back to pass, looking downfield. He fires, and it's incomplete. And on the deflection there will be is number 20, DJ Brown. And Richmond will be forced to punt.
Yeah, it's great defense, especially by DJ Brown there. Just read the quarterback's eyes as Wickersham came over the middle of the field and timed his deflection perfectly. It's really easy to go a little bit early and get a pass interference penalty because you're just a little too overexcited for it. Lehigh looks all mixed up here on their special team substitutions. Settled it out. But yeah, great defense for the Mountain Hawks after Richmond had good field position following the interception.
So 4th and 5 here. Richmond now to punt. Punt is away, and this is a bit of an ugly kick. And that will take probably a Lehigh bounce, and they'll start with the ball at their own 23, which that's honestly not bad considering where Richmond was.
Yeah, really not that far of a punt. And Lehigh's lucky it didn't hit anyone that it wasn't supposed to. But it looks like we're gonna have another commercial break, so we'll take a quick timeout. No commercial break?
No. Yeah. You have to. There's one guy on the sideline about the 20-yard line I always watch. He's the one who always signals commercial break. If he walks out on the field, then it's a commercial break.
I don't trust that guy.
Well,
we got Johnson and Mahalik out there. They had this formation on the first half, did not work at all. We'll see if it works this time.
So it'll be 3 in the backfield. This is an interesting formation. I'm curious what they do here.
Well, last time they just handed it off to Mahalik. I don't know if this time they're pushing him out of there.
They're gonna throw to Mahalik, and he'll get to the sideline. Ooh, and he almost hurdles someone. I'll get and all in all, he'll get about 1 yard. But a little Taysom Hill action there on the first down play, at least 2nd and 9.
Does that count as a hurdle if you don't land after it? I mean, he definitely cleared the guy, and then he went over the head at the end. We need our official stats guy to check that one out to see if that counts as a hurdle or not. But better than what happened the first time when they gave it to Mahalik.
Yeah. At least went for a gain this time around. So he's 2nd down and 9. Johnson and Green in the backfield. It'll be handoff to Green. Green up the middle. Cuts back, and he'll get to about the 32-yard line. And that'll be 3rd and 1.
That was a nice job by Jaden Green. He cut around a couple of defenders and found himself a lane for 9 yards. He's looked really good in this first game. Him and Yoder are about splitting their time on the field, but Green's getting the ball a lot more.
So 3rd down 1 here. So curious what the Mavericks roll out here. They could just do a straight handoff, or they can honestly do a play action pass here.
Yeah, I have to imagine this is either going to be a running back straight at the middle or maybe a read option with Johnson.
So it'll be Yoder up the middle, and looks like he got it. So forward progress will come back at the 35. He'll get 1st down.
Yeah, again, that's Yoder's specialty. If you want to get 2 yards, he's your man. Around the goal line and in short yard situations, he's the way to go.
So 1st down and 10 here for the Mountain Hawks at their own 35 now. Johnson and Yoder again in the backfield, sticking with the same backfield there. Handoff Johnson will keep it himself, and Johnson, he'll get to about the 39. We'll call it 39 and a half. So it'll be 4.5-yard gain there on the keeper there from Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson certainly has that in his game, that ability to run. I think he doesn't do it too often, intentionally at least from the Lehigh play calling standpoint. They just don't want him to get hit as much. He's not the biggest of the guys out there, and you need to be able to preserve him for these 3rd down situations.
So he's 2nd down and about 6, or rather 5. 2nd down about 5.5. Johnson gets a snap, back to pass. This time, fire to the outside, and that'll be almost intercepted. And there's going to be another flag, and that'll be also be a PI on Richmond, and it will.
Yeah, Richmond sideline did not like that call at all. It happened right in front of them. Their coaches are still jawing at the refs. That was similar to the first PI where it looked like Lehigh's Matt Davino just kind of came back to the ball, And the Richmond defender were just a little too early, like I was saying earlier. He came and attacked the ball just too early, and that's a pretty easy PI for the refs to see.
Yeah, that's a third or fourth time that's gotten called in Richmond today. They've gotten very handsy on with Lehigh wide receivers, and it's become too noticeable where the officials can't ignore it anymore.
Still waiting for our first holding call of the season.
Yeah, it's interesting. We haven't had that yet from neither offensive line. Although both teams have been holding on today and hasn't been called yet, so we'll see what happens. And that's going to go for about. Let's see, that'll go for about 1 yard. Actually, yeah, it'll be no gain for Yoder on that.
Yeah, no real room for Yoder to go. They definitely had that one seen pretty much seen before it even happened. Telegraphed out.
And now we Jane Green the backfield with Johnson.
Interesting to see maybe if they go for a little bit screen action like they did on their first touchdown pass. Green is definitely electric in the open field, so I wouldn't be surprised if they try to get that going.
Johnson takes a snap, back to pass on a blitz, fires a sideline. That is nearly picked off, but incomplete. Screen pass there to Devano, and that's not Devino, and that'll be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, it almost looked like it went right through Devino's hands. It's a little difficult to see if Richmond got their hands on it or not. I'm not even sure Devino thought it was going to get all the way to him, but incomplete nonetheless. Now a tough 3rd down for Lehigh at 3rd and 10. I don't think it's 4 down territory, even if you get 5 or so yards. So a tough spot to be in.
So Johnson in the backfield with Green, back to pass again. He'll look downfield, to fire to Humphrey, and it'll be complete. And is it? Looks like they're going to say it's incomplete. Are they going to say? No, they're going to say it's complete. And that'll be a 12-yard gain for a 1st down.
Richmond's sideline is furious.
This could potentially be a play where it gets reviewed. Lehigh might want to move here. Lehigh might want to move here. Well, they didn't get it off quickly enough, so it will be reviewed. Yeah, Lehigh need to move a little more quickly there in order to prevent a review there.
Yeah, we'll see. The question I don't think isn't if he got his feet down or not. The question is, did he have control when he had the feet down, or if it took him once he was out of bounds to fully control the football?
Yeah,
it's going to be a very close call.
Yeah.
So we'll see what the refs come up with.
Yeah. So I saw what they were talking about, but I also thought he had control by the time he also had control while his feet were still in bounds.
Yeah, it's definitely a close call, and it's always hard, especially when you're throwing towards your opponent's sideline, because they're going to be all up in arms at any ball ever. I agree with you. I think he did have both feet down and he had control. And even if it's if the refs are unsure, I think you have to defer the call in the field, which would be Lehigh 1st down. So yeah, I think Humphrey did have his feet down. It was a pretty good throw by Johnson to spot Humphrey on the comeback. That route's been open a lot today against Richmond's kind of softer shell. They've been giving Lehigh a lot of space to cut back in.
Yeah, so they also aren't showing any replays on the board, which so that means we're flying blind. So we're assuming that we're under the assumption that it looked like it was a catch from our vantage point, because we got a fairly good view at it, but we obviously could have missed something. So obviously this gets overturned, Lehigh will punt. If it doesn't, they'll have a 1st down at their own. It looks like at the Richmond 27.
I don't see really any movement yet to see any signal.
Yeah.
Definitely still deep in review.
They're taking a long time to look at this. It's either either this is good for Lehigh because they can't tell, or B they already know it's getting overturned. They're still trying to figure out how much time they should put on the clock.
Definitely a possibility as well.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Okay.
Looks like a little bit of movement here.
Looks like here's the call. Okay. So it is a completed pass to Humphrey. The call does stand, and first down at the Richmond 27.
Yeah, I think that's the right call there, because at the very least, there was not enough evidence to overturn that one. I don't think. I don't think there's really any angle that would have shown him not having possession.
Yeah. So first down at 10 at the Lehigh at the Richmond 38. So again, that's a big third down conversion there for the Mountain Hawks.
Again, Humphrey's got a lot of space on the far side of the field.
Yeah. Handoff, jet sweep to Green, and he will get to about the. He'll get about to the Richmond 33. So gain of about 5 yards, I think.
I wonder if they just have that play in the play sheet as the Jaden Green play. They've called that at least 3 times now, of having Green split out wide as a receiver and then coming in the jet sweep. He looks like he's under a little bit of duress as he comes off the field, though. Definitely favoring his left leg as he makes his way to the sideline. Hopefully he's okay.
Crosser will be a now for Lehigh. Their third string running back. Johnson takes a snap. He'll keep it himself. He'll try and get upfield, and he loses his helmet, and that's gonna be a penalty. And I'm guessing that's gonna be a personal foul on Johnson.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, on Richmond. So let's see. It looks like the officials are discussing something.
Yeah, they may pick this one up.
I don't look like there was a scrum there. So I also look if there is no penalty, it'll be a game about 1. It looks like on that play.
I'm not sure exactly what they would be calling. I don't think Johnson got hit dirty at all. I think he just popped his helmet off.
I mean, it could. The only thing I think of is targeting or face mask. One of those two. If someone ripped his face mask off, I also don't know.
Although you can't get a penalty for running with your helmet off, no? So maybe it's on Johnson. I think it popped off at the end of the play.
Yeah,
so.
let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is no penalty. Yeah.
The Lehigh faithful not agreeing with that call,
And
which is to be expected as Johnson will check out of the game.
yeah, you have to check out after if your helmet gets taken off during a play, you have to check out for at least one play.
Now this is a tough spot for the Mountain Hawks. Obviously Johnson is the main throwing quarterback, but it's 3rd and 5. We'll see if Mahalik throws, or maybe they just run it to get a shorter 4th down or a field goal, perhaps.
Yeah, they're loading the box too, so I think they know exactly what's coming here. So it'll be a run to Yoder, and
It's close to the 1st down.
Yeah, it actually did. It's 4th down 1. So honestly, if I were Lehigh, I'd go for it here.
Yeah, it looks like Yoder's coming in, Johnson's coming in, so it looks like they're going for it here, which is I don't disagree with this call here. 14-14 with about 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
So let's see what they call here. I imagine they have a bunch formation.
It's like a little bit of confusion. The play call coming in.
Interesting. They're gonna go in the shotgun formation here. They're gonna have 4 wide receivers split out. Curious.
The side end.
Interesting. And Lehigh's gonna take a timeout. They looked very confused there.
Probably a smart timeout there by Coach Cahill.
Yeah. I was surprised they weren't running anything under center also, because honestly, what they could have done was they could have just done what Richmond and Wickersham have done the entire game, is just act like they're going out of shotgun, go right under center, and then snap the ball.
Yeah, I mean, the issue there is I'm not sure how comfortable Hayden Johnson is taking this ball under center. I don't know if he's done it much today or much in his career at all, so he may be just more comfortable in the shotgun. Plus, Kyle Wickersham, 6'3", 260. For comparison, Hayden Johnson is 6'1", 205. So maybe not the most ideal guy to run a QB sneak with.
That's probably a fair point.
But Lehigh's taking a long time in their huddle. We'll see what they have dialed up.
You mean, where should I really?
Yeah, so they're going to have, looks like, Johnson, Yoder in the backfield again. So it looks like similar formation to what they had before the timeout. So interesting. So they might be a straight handoff. I don't know. You could also
they have Marenka tucked in in the formation this time.
Yeah.
I think this is just going to be a straight RB power with Yoder, big on big.
Yep. Snap. It's to Yoder, and Yoder will get the 1st down.
Ooh, that's close.
Oh, I don't know actually. I thought I might have gotten it, but it doesn't. Let's see. Looks
like he's short.
Let's see. Are they going to measure it? He will be short, yes. A big 4th down stop for Richmond. And Lehigh could not convert the 4th and 1, and within the Richmond 30-yard line, and their defense comes up with a big stop.
Yeah, it just didn't look like there was a whole lot of push from Lehigh's offensive line, and so Yoder really had nowhere to go, and a pretty easy stop as he got swallowed up by the Richmond defense.
Yeah, I was curious what they would do there, but it was just straight run from Yoder, and I think because Richmond was expecting that, they didn't get it. That's why they weren't able to get it.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. They didn't at least I thought they would at least have Green out in that formation to maybe run some motion.
So a jet sweep, and Lawson will get out there, and he's gonna get a decent gain out of that. And I'll go to about the Richmond 40, and that'll be a first down.
Yeah, that's the second time today Dawson's burned Lehigh on that jet sweep, not to mention his kickoff return for a touchdown. So Lehigh definitely going to need to do a better job containing him because his speed's a huge weapon for this Richmond offense.
So it'll be Foster Powell in the backfield along with Wickersham. Back to pass again to the outside, and that's going to be complete, and that'll go for about 4 yards. And that'll be Sean Clark.
Again, that's another time short passing from Wickersham. We didn't see that a whole lot in the first half from him. Looks like he's settling a bit in his return to collegiate football for the first time since mid-2024.
So Wickersham, he will hand off to Foster Powell again, and he slips, and that'll be a loss of about 2.
Yeah, it looked like Jamal Brown tried to sneak his way back up, but the rest weren't really having none of it. And that'll put him back close to the original line of scrimmage for 3rd and 8. But yeah, Brown looked like he was trying to cut it back upfield after the holes were being taken away, and just not enough traction for him out there.
And that'll do it for the 3rd quarter. So I'll tie up at 14 after 3 quarters of play. This is this is what we expected and more. I wouldn't want to miss it. I'm sure you don't either. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 3rd down, 8 for Richmond on their own 42. Start of the 4th quarter. Big play. Again, another big play here for both these teams.
Yeah, this is a great time for Lehigh's defense to step up. Matt Spatney and
Back
TJ
to pass, looking and fires in the middle, and it is caught. And on a blitz, Lehigh could not get to Wickersham, and it'll be a first down. It'll go to the Lehigh 46.
Yeah, Wickersham really wasn't put on any pressure there despite the extra guy, and just was able to stay calm and composed in the pocket and find his receiver coming over the middle on the dig.
So first down 10 here for Wickersham and Foster Powell in the backfield.
More spread out formation for Richmond than usual.
And they're going to go, and looks like Wickersham's going to pass. So fire over the middle. That's going to be incomplete. And that was, and look, and didn't even see it, but that was but deflecting that was number 20, was number 20, DJ Brown. He's been involved a lot today.
You know, it's funny. You always tell your defensive backs to turn your head back around and look at the quarterback. That time, Brown didn't necessarily do that, but it looked at all the same as the pass was a little low.
Yeah, it was. He probably that one probably should have had a little more air under it rather than a line drive. So 2nd down and 10 now for Richmond. Wickersham again back to pass, looking downfield, will fire over the middle. That's caught, but running backwards, and only getting 3 out of that is number 1 Kwanye Veni. I'm sorry, and that's going to be 3rd down, about 8 now.
Yeah, it didn't look like he got led the wrong direction by Wickersham. He didn't really have anywhere to run into, and it made him go backwards, only getting 3 yards from forward progress.
So 3rd down and 7 now for Richmond. Lehigh again. Let's see if they blitz this time. They don't. Here comes the rush. Wickersham back to pass, and it's deflected, and that's going to be incomplete. And Lehigh defense comes up strong, and Richmond's going to be forced to punt.
Yeah, that time Lehigh was able to get their pressure, and like we were saying, Lehigh's defensive line is quite stout, but this time it wasn't someone from the defensive line. He was an extra blitzer from the linebacker position, and Bryson Edwards, the senior who's been just about everywhere today for the Mountain Hawks.
So now 4th down, 7 for Richmond. And again, it'll be Ned Gray to punt. Punt is away, and Jamie will fair catch it. And almost fair catch interference there, and Lehigh wants it, but it looks like they're not going to get it. I'm curious if you could potentially review that.
I don't think you can. I think the issue was he never technically touched Jamie. He just kind of made it difficult to catch, which I don't know. It's a gray area of the rule, so to speak.
Yeah, that's a good question. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. 13:33 left to go in the 4th quarter. All tied at 14. We're right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. First down and 10 for Lehigh at their own 13 after a Richmond punt, and Lehigh looking to take the lead here.
Yeah, we'll see what the Lehigh offense comes up with. Johnson's looked a little bit spotty in the second half. Some definite highs, but some definite lows, including an interception to nobody. But hopefully, with the about 13 minutes left to play in this fourth quarter, he steps it up.
Johnson takes a snap, handoff, and it will be go up the middle to, I think, Crossley. That'll go for nothing.
Yeah, I do wonder if Luke Yoder is dealing with something maybe. Oh, it was Yoder this time. So, again, a good every down back in Luke Yoder, but wasn't able to find much space to work with there.
And we haven't seen. Never mind. I would say I haven't seen Jaden Green in a while, but now he's back.
Well, I know Jaden. He came off the field a couple drives ago, seemingly having an issue with his ankle. So I wonder if he's just been trying to work on that rest himself for the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that was my thought. Yeah, so it's 2nd down 9 now for the Mountain Hawks after a 1-yard gain.
Pretty stacked box from the Spiders here.
Here's the snap, and Jaden Green up the middle. He's got a lot of space. And down the sideline, he will get tackled at the 30-yard line, but that'll be a big gain that'll be a 16-yard gain for him, and that'll be another first down for the Mountain Hawks.
Well, his ankle looks like it's definitely fine because he just ripped off a huge gain for the Mountain Hawks. He's been a bright spot this whole game, just kind of exactly what the Mountain Hawks needed whenever they needed it, whether he's lined up in the slot or in the backfield. Been able to find some holes where there didn't really seem to be any, and that's the first down for Lehigh.
He's tormented the Spiders for the last 2 times they've played each other.
Not to mention his receiving touchdown today that tied the game up in the first half.
So 1st down 10 again. Back takes a snap, handoff. John takes himself. He's up the middle, and he'll go for about 9 yards. So 2nd down 1 at their own 39 now.
You know, I love Johnson's bravery to run into people, but sometimes I just want him to slide down there. We do not need Hayden Johnson getting injured this early in the season.
Yeah, it might be a lesson there for the young sophomore QB.
I need Dante Perry to come back to teach everyone how to slide, or go over to the baseball field and ask them.
Yeah, they certainly know how to do that. So 2nd and 1 now. Honestly, if I were Lehigh, I might do a play action pass here and catch the defense off guard here.
Looks like you should be able to have one-on-one with Humphrey if you want it.
Johnson hands off to Green. Green, looks like he'll get the first down.
Looks like they'll give it to him off of forward progress. Yeah.
So that's a game of about 2 yards, and it looks like we have a lot of whistles, although I don't see anything yet.
Like just a little bit of jawing that the refs wanted to stop before it became something bigger.
Yeah, I mean that's happened. I mean that you're correct. That has happened a lot today. So 1st down 10 again for Mountain Hawks.
You know, with about 11 minutes to go in this second half, I think ideally what Lehigh would love to do is just grind this whole drive out, see how much time they can take off, and hopefully punch it in right at the end. Again, you've got Humphrey one-on-one in the top. I gotta believe they're looking that way.
Johnson back to pass, looking for Yoder, and he'll be incomplete.
Yeah, it looked like that ball just sailed on Johnson a little bit there. He had Mahalik back there as well. No handoff to him this time. There were definitely some protestation for a holding call, but I don't think there was too much on that throw flag.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot. There was a little bit of hand grab, but not that much. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Mountain Hawks, and you're right. They do have Humphrey one-on-one there. They've got him on the outside. They just haven't gone his way just yet, or at least not yet on this drive. Johnson, he'll take it himself up the middle. He's got a seam. Oh, and he takes a big hit at the Richmond 46, but that'll be enough for a first down.
Yeah, that's a great bravery by Johnson there. You can almost feel like they've been saving his legs a little bit for this fourth quarter. They didn't let him run too much in the first half. They had a lot of Yoder, a lot of Green, but I think now where it counts, he's calling the shots, and he's going to keep it himself when he wants to.
So now 1st down 10 for Lehigh.
But going back to Humphrey, I think the reason they're not looking in his way, right, is because he's best as a deep shot, downfield threat. But with how much space Richmond's giving to him, it's just really hard for him to get much separation going downfield.
1st down 10. Johnson takes a snap, hand off to Yoder. Yoder, he won't get too much on that. He'll get about 2 yards.
2 more yards than it looked like he was going to get. Nice job to keep his feet moving there as Richmond seemed like they were ready for that play call.
It seems like every time he's out there, it seems like they're almost ready to collapse on, or at least automatically assume, oh, Yoder's getting the ball here.
He's not a bad bet.
No, he's not. He's got. I mean, yeah. I mean, he's got a lot of yards after contact. There's probably at least 3 or 4 in that situation right there. So 2nd down 8. Johnson back to pass. Looks over the middle. It's caught by Davino, and he'll be just short of 1st down at the Richmond 37.
Nice grab there by Davino. It was a little bit to his left-hand side. Johnson had to throw it that way because of the defender and the proximity, but a nice job to snag it out of the air and then dive forward for almost a 1st down and give themselves about a 3rd and 1. That's been one of those things. You're looking for a little bit more consistency from Lehigh in those types of plays. It seems like they're a little scared to call that play, but if that can become a consistent part of their offense, it would be a huge gain for the Mountain Hawks.
3rd down and 1 now. Johnson takes a snap, back to pass, looking downfield, he fires, Humphrey wide open, and it is incomplete, but we have a flag. So that's either going to be holding or PI.
It looks like they're signaling against Lehigh, so that might be OPI.
Or looks like one of the offensive linemen signaled it against Richmond, but I also don't know. We'll see.
Defense.
Yeah, just based off I mean, like it's just based off of looking at how that play developed. Like I could just tell, like, ooh, this is yeah.
Well, we mentioned Humphrey and deep shots, and they looked like Johnson had his tight end, Marenko, wide open for a 1st down, but he wanted it all. Again, it sailed on him a little bit. I'd like to see him hit that in the bucket more, but a good bravery there, and he's rewarded with another pass interference call.
So 1st down and 10 out the Richmond 22. So Lehigh just on the outside of the red zone, just on the outside of the red zone here. Johnson takes a snap, back to pass again. Quick pass to the side for Humphrey. That's caught, and he will be tackled down at about the Richmond 12, and that'll be enough for a 1st down.
Well, again, if you're going to give Humphrey that much respect because of his deep threat, that kind of pass is going to be open. That kind of quick out, almost stick concept is going to be open a lot. And if Johnson and Humphrey can hit that consistently, you're just going to see those types of gains.
So again, another 1st down now in the red zone, and Lehigh looking to cash in here.
I know it's Yoder in the game right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to that screenplay concept on in their 1st touchdown.
Johnson takes a snap. Handoff to Yoder. Yoder, he's got some space. Bumped into his own lineman. He'll get down to about the 6-yard line. That'll be about a 6-yard gain. So 2nd down 4 now.
And you could see that time it was a bit of a slower mesh by Johnson. He held on the ball for just a second longer. And I think because of his earlier runs on this drive, the Richmond defense had to respect it. They had to wait, and that gave Yoder a bit more space. As opposed to usual where Yoder has to break 5 tackles before he gets to the line of scrimmage.
Honestly, he's been working as hard as anyone today. So 2nd down 4 here for the Mountain Hawks at the Richmond 6.
Humphrey's got about 3 inches on his defender.
Takes a snap, handoff to Yoder again, and he's able to bounce off a defender, but he only gets 2 out of that. So it'll be about 3rd down 2. Now at the Richmond 4-yard line. Now, if they don't get it here, do you go for it?
I don't know. I think I'm so tempted to. And if you take a sack, no, you don't go for it. You kick a field goal. But if you at least get back to the line of scrimmage, I'd be so tempted to. This is where I would run the ball here, and that way you kind of just play yourself into that 4th down. As opposed to if you throw it, you don't get it. It's a little more iffy.
3rd down 2 here. Johnson takes a snap, handoff to Green. Green is in. Touchdown, Lehigh. Lehigh grabs back the lead off of yet another Jaden Green touchdown, his 2nd of the day. 24 Mountain Hawks.
Jaden Green, he's been great today. Yoder may be listed as the starter, but Green is no backup. He came in here today with a clear set in mind, and he's jumping. He's jiving off the field. He's got a receiving touchdown and now a rushing touchdown. Just nothing Richmond could do to stop him, as even though despite maybe he's not necessarily the usual contact back, he pushed his way in for 6.
And now it looks like we're going to get, looks like a timeout here. Richmond takes a timeout on the extra point.
It looks like they just weren't set or something. Even the coaches look a little bit confused as they're jawing with the referees. I'm not exactly sure what goes on. You never want to take a timeout on an extra point, but
yeah, especially in a close game like this, like that. or rather, it's immediate timeout, which is
Which makes
about,
more sense, but it wouldn't make sense before an extra point.
yeah. Why would you just not wait until after the extra point?
Fans, join us
Not
next
exactly
week
sure
as
what's
Lehigh
happened there.
football returns to Goodman Stadium to play host to
I have to.
Silverback
If I had to make a
as
guess,
part
I
of
think what happened was
University
the
Day.
refs
Tickets can
thought
be
Richmond took a
purchased
timeout, but they
online
didn't
at
actually call timeout. And since they had already sent the teams back to their sidelines, they didn't want to bring them right back for immediate timeout. So they're just going to keep them in timeout, which isn't the best thing to do.
Yeah, I think that could have been executed a little. Honestly, I'm a little surprised they weren't told to wait until after the extra point because who takes the immediate timeout before an extra point?
Well, again, I don't think they wanted to take the immediate timeout now. I think it was more just confusion of them thinking Richmond already called timeout. So once Richmond said, well, we didn't call timeout, they were like, well, we have to make up something anyway.
Okay, I guess that makes sense. So maybe they don't have a timeout after the extra point.
Yeah.
Well,
And if they do, that's going to be really frustrating.
yeah, I think that a lot of people are I think people would not be very happy with that.
But another successful drive from the Mountain Hawks. They grinded about at least 5 minutes off that clock, closer to 6, which was really impressive. Johnson looked a lot more comfortable back there as opposed to the previous drive in the third quarter, where he seemed to be having a little bit of a happy feet syndrome, throwing the ball where he shouldn't be. So nice job by him to calm down the coaching staff as well.
Yep. And then now it looks like they're getting the teams back out there, and so I think we're out of the media timeout.
Looks like it's time for extra point finally. Hopefully we don't get another media timeout directly afterwards, but the refs are still deliberating, so I'm not sure if they're trying to figure out what to do.
I mean, I don't see a reason why you have to take a media timeout after the extra point, considering you took one now.
Well, they've essentially iced the Lehigh kicker, which is
Yeah, that's a little rude, don't you think?
still in pause. Well, at least we get started to a little bit more of the marching 97 in this media
Yeah.
timeout.
Now we don't even get that.
Now we don't even get that. But it's clear the media timeout is still ongoing, so I'm not sure why the teams were let back on the field.
Yeah, a lot of confusion here, and looks like now it's over. If I were Kevin Cahill, I'd be a little annoyed because now your kicker has to sit out there for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think both coaches are annoyed at this point.
Yeah. So the extra point kick is away, and the kick is good. No problem for Nick Garrido. And now we're gonna have another media timeout. And you have the fans now booing the booing it now. There's another commercial break, and I don't blame them. Well, we wouldn't take one if we were running the show, but that's what happens. 6:29 left to go in the fourth quarter. Lehigh up 21-14. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 21-14 Lehigh with 6:29 left to go in the fourth quarter. I'm Alec Geske alongside with me, Jackson Cramp, and Lehigh putting together a nice drive against Richmond, against Richmond, and a lot of things went right for Lehigh. And Hayden Johnson looks like he definitely got himself under control after that last drive.
Yeah, he's been a little bit Jekyll and Hyde in this game. In the first quarter, he didn't really seem to have any confidence. Second quarter, he looked more himself. Third quarter, a little overconfident. And now he's settled back in, doing the simple things right, and then knowing when to scramble, knowing when to take his deep shots.
And a little squib kick this time, and this time it'll be fair caught at the 26-yard line by number 83 Ryan Campbell. So interesting strategy, but actually looks like it actually worked. Pretty much for the most part, it worked because you really aren't that. It's not really that much worse than a touchback.
Yeah, really only about a couple yards ahead, so not the end of the world for Lehigh. I'm guessing that wasn't intentional, though. You would have preferred to just boot it through the end zone.
Yeah, I think that after what happened with Dawson last night, I didn't think they want to take any
That
risks.
definitely could be a part of it as well.
Yeah.
Dawson's been electric for Richmond there today. I'm surprised, honestly, he doesn't get more playing time, but there must be some reason for that.
So Wickersham, he'll take it himself, and he's back to pass. He throws it up in the air, and that's gonna be incomplete. There's a flag in the backfield, but that's gonna be a holding penalty on Richmond. TJ Barkley looked like he was getting mauled back there, and looks like there's 3 flags. So
definitely in the vicinity of holding.
Yeah, definitely vicinity of holding, and my guess is, yeah, I didn't see anyone offsides, but there was another flag on the far side of the field.
Yeah.
So
That was kind of an interesting play design by Richmond. It was almost like a double fake there, with Wickersham initially looking like he was a QB draw, then stepping up to run before fading backwards and throwing downfield. Honestly, it could have just been a QB draw in the broken play where he threw the ball away.
So let's see what it is. So two penalties on Richmond there. Obviously the ineligible man downfield penalty will be declined. It'll now be first down 20 for Richmond after that holding penalty. And I saw it from all the way up here, like TJ Burke was getting mauled, and that's the first time they've called that holding penalty all day.
Yeah, there's been a couple times it looks like Lehigh's pass rushers are getting through to Wickersham but are held back. Surprised it's taking this long to be called, but now Richmond comes out in a super bunch formation.
So now first down 20 for the Spiders. Wickersham back to pass again, 3-man rush. He's looking downfield. He fires toward the sideline. That's going to be complete. And getting to about the 30-yard line is number 2, Jaden Fair.
Yeah, a lot of space for Fair out on the sideline. He just needed to run into it. Not ideal for Lehigh, who had him back in a 1st and 20, and now it's second and about 7.
Yeah, it looked like the defense they played a little too much soft coverage in that situation. Richmond just took advantage of it. Second down 7 for the Spiders. And back to pass to Wickersham, and that'll be caught by Fair, and that was a little weird play. It looked like that whoever was trying to get through that screen almost hit Fair as he caught the ball. It's actually gonna be a loss of 1 on that play as he slipped.
Yeah. Lehigh was able to get a nice push out on that screen. That looked like it was number 16, Mason Moore. It almost looked like he couldn't decide if he wanted to go to break up the pass or tackle. In the end, he got enough on Fair to bring him down and trip him up before he got going.
Third down 7 now here for the Spiders. Wickersham and Foster Powell in the backfield. Wickersham back to pass, looking downfield. And he's he's looking, goes to his right, and he will be sacked. Or actually, did he get it off in time? He actually did. He actually got it off for about a 2-yard gain, actually.
But I mean, they put him close to the first down, but not close enough, as Richmond's punt team will come out there.
4th down 5 now, and they will punt. So I was a little surprised. I can't believe Wickersham found someone. That was a heck of a play by Wickersham there, because number 92 Dylan Sheehan, he had him dead to rights in the backfield there.
Yeah, Sheehan, the 5th-year defensive end, definitely got down to Wickersham. Wickersham was just able to hold on for a little bit. The 6'4" frame, he was able to stay upright, but not much more he could do. Not really anyone open. Great defense by Lehigh.
Punt is away to J-Mail. He's going to immediately fair catch it. And that'll be down about the Lehigh 22.
Yeah,
Look,
great stop by Lehigh to get off the field right away, and a 3 and out. We'll see if they can run down this clock with about 5 minutes to go.
so 4:26 left to go. There is no commercial break this time around.
Maybe we're rewarded this time with no media timeout.
Yeah, that was after a little bit of fiasco to at the beginning of the fourth quarter here, but Lehigh with the ball back got their own 23. Johnson Green in the backfield here.
Yeah, Johnson and Green have both been great today, especially on the last drive.
A big Lehigh chant from the student section who've been Johnson. He'll go up the middle. He'll get about 5 there. Who've shown out today. This is the largest student section I've seen for a non-Lee Loft game.
Yeah, definitely a good representation, and it's a good lesson for Lehigh athletics. When your team starts to play well, the students will show, and vice versa. And you can feel that even when the football team here today looked a little bit lost, looked a little bit unsure about themselves in the first quarter, the students really brought them back into it with some nice, good chants, some boos when you need it, and Lehigh's looked at a good reciprocal relationship with their fans today.
So first down 10 again. It looks like it's going to be Yoder in the backfield this time. Jamie will come across. Hand off to Yoder up the middle, and he gets a decent amount, and he'll get a first down. He'll be down about the 35. But again, good run there for Luke Yoder.
It might be the longest of the day for Yoder, but that's the kind of running back he is. He just grinds it out, and he's the one you want in the game at this time. He's experienced. He knows what it takes. He knows how to hold on to the football, and that's another first down, as Lehigh is going to slow it up here and try to probably snap the ball with as few seconds on the play clock every single time. They should be able to wind it down under 3 minutes for this play.
And 3:10 left now, and if you're Richmond, you have to probably start thinking about using timeouts soon.
Yeah, I'm guessing they're going to start using it after this play unless it's a big gain.
So JMO comes across. Snap. Here's a snap. It's to Yoder. Yoder, he'll get no gain out of that. And
See a signal for time? No.
Nope, no timeout yet.
So I guess they'll save it for after the 2-minute warning.
So 2:44 left now. Second down 10. Curious if they try something a little different here.
I wouldn't assume so. I think they'll run it at least one more time, as it'll bring it down to the 2-minute warning, and then maybe throw on third down or run it again and force Richmond to use one of their timeouts.
So it's Johnson Green the backfield. JMO comes across, and Green will have it, and he'll actually be tackled for a loss.
Yeah, no room for Green there. Again, I'm surprised Richmond didn't use their timeouts earlier, but it'll take us to a 2-minute warning with Lehigh up 21-14 and a big third down coming up.
3rd and 12 now for the Mountain Hawks. We'll see what they do when they come out of 2-minute warning. We're coming in for a landing, ladies and gentlemen. 21-14 Lehigh. You won't miss ascending. We won't. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 21-14 Lehigh with 2 minutes left to go. Lehigh 3rd and 12 now at their own 33.
Lehigh's got their big tight end, Joseph Marenka, split out on the left-hand side next to Matt Divino. I wouldn't be surprised if you might see a play where Green is either thrown or handed off to run behind him to this left-hand side, hopefully finding some more space.
Mm-hmm. It would make sense. Yeah, that'd probably the smart play call here.
Or just a straight run up the middle, as Green's been successful even when there's a tight box around him.
Third down, 12. And Johnson, he's got to take himself. He throws to Williams. He will get all of a yard out of that. And Richmond will now take their first time out with 1:56 left. Interesting play call there. It was a little surprised I went to Nick Williams because I thought they would try to go for someone with a little more speed on that.
Yeah, I don't think that play was designed for Marenka. I think he was mostly there just to motion. But it's probably a smart play call by Johnson to not try to force anything downfield and to just to get something out of it as opposed to looking for it all. At the very least, you forced Richmond to take a timeout. And so now with 1:56, they're only going to have 2 timeouts left. I'm not sure how comfortable they're going to be in the 2-minute drill. In the first half, remember, with about a minute left, they didn't really even try anything. They just ran the ball 2 times and went to the locker room. So we'll see what Richmond have dialed up for this 2-minute drill.
So now it'll be Connor Poole again punting. And if you remember from last year, ladies and gentlemen, Richmond was in a similar spot. And on a punt return, there was a fumble, and Lehigh recovered the ball and won the game. But we'll see if that happens. I don't know if that'll happen again here.
Well, last year's game ended 20-16.
Low snap. Poole punts it away, and that's going to be a good punt. Fair catch by Green this time. I'm sorry, by Fair this time. And that'll be down about the Lehigh at the Lehigh 18. Wow. So a nice boot there from Connor Poole.
Yeah, Connor Poole's had a couple nice kicks today, and that might be the pick of the lot, as Richmond will now have to go all of 82 yards to get the touchdown. But yeah, like I was saying, Richmond lost this game last year 20-16. It's 21-14 now. So a similar position, like you were saying. We'll see what Kyle Wickersham and the Richmond offense have dialed up. Obviously, Wickersham wasn't playing in this position last year. We'll see what the senior has for us.
So 21-14 now, 1:49 left to go. Wickersham back to pass, looking at it, it's picked off! And going with it into the end zone for the touchdown is Mackay Smith. Unbelievable! What a turn of events, and that might just do it.
Well, we said Wickersham wasn't in this game last year, but it's a similar outcome.
Wait. So it's not a touchdown. It's gonna be at the 11-yard line for Lehigh. But that pins Richmond in a very precarious spot. 1:43 left to go with 11 seconds on the clock.
Mackay Smith just read that play perfectly. It might not be a touchdown, but he might have just sealed this game out, as now all Lehigh needs to do is run a couple plays. Richmond only have 2 timeouts. Even if they get nothing here, Lehigh should be walking out of here with a win. It's a terrific play by Mackay Smith. He read that play perfectly. And Kyle Wickersham, like I said, he wasn't playing in this game last year, but he did not learn from Richmond's mistakes either.
Yeah, that looked like a bit of miscommunication on the outside timing route, and Wickersham just literally threw it right to Mackay Smith. The receiver wasn't particularly even close in that situation.
Lehigh might need to call timeout here. They were definitely confused, the play call or the lineup.
Yeah, they look fine here. So 1:43 left to go at Lehigh at the Richmond 11 now. So he hand off to Yoder, and Yoder, he pushes up the middle, and he'll get to about the 9-yard line. And about to say, is Richmond taking a timeout here or no?
And they are, yeah.
Well, it looks like someone's down the ground. It's going to be, oh, actually, someone's helmet came off.
I don't see any signal for a Richmond timeout.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here. Okay. So they'll start the clock immediately on the snap, which they do. So it actually stops the clock. Oh,
Stops the clock, really,
that's brutal.
So buys Richmond a timeout.
So again, it'll be Johnson. It'll be Johnson Green the backfield. Hand off to Green now. Green up the middle. Won't get much, and that'll be another. Now Richmond will take a timeout.
So that keeps Richmond theoretically in the game now, as Lehigh can't run this clock out. They'll be able to run one more play. I'm assuming another run, which will force Richmond to take their final timeout, and then I would guess Lehigh will try to kick a field goal and give themselves a 2-score advantage.
And it'll be a 30-second timeout. They'll just do a straight run play here, I'd imagine, and then they'll try a field goal with Nicarito, who is one of the more reliable kickers last year in the Patriot League.
Yeah, I mean, this is, again, why last year was so important for Lehigh. It wasn't just about what happened last year. It was to be more comfortable in these kinds of situations where you need to hold on to late leads, where you need to be a little bit smart with the football. And Luke Yoder's great at that. He's experienced. He knows how to be strong in these situations. As Lehigh look to start the season off 1-0. And what we said earlier would be a huge game against Richmond. This could be just the start to the season they needed.
So third down and 6 now for the Mountain Hawks to the Richmond 7.
Yeah, I assume this is going to go right to Yoder at the middle.
So it will be a handoff up to Yoder up the middle, and Yoder has a decent amount of space, and Yoder is down at the 1-yard line. It'll be a first down. They stop the clock, and theoretically they should just
that should do it. They should be able to kneel it down. That great job by Yoder. Again, like we said, he knows how to keep his legs moving, and that time it earned them a first down. Richmond's not going to call their last timeout, and I think that's going to do it here, folks, as Johnson will put themselves in victory formation.
And that's a great first. This is a great first win for Lehigh. This set the tone for the year in a close game against a really good team. They're able to get the job done. Very impressive win for the Alex today, and building off of what happened last year.
Well, and it was really a team victory, right? In the first quarter, Lehigh's offense didn't really be able to do much. It was really on the defense to step up. You had some nice plays by Matt Smatney and TJ Burke. But into the second quarter, when the Lehigh defense needed some help, the offense stepped up, and they had a nice touchdown, courtesy of a screen pass from Johnson to Jaden Green. In the second quarter, the offense started strong, faded away, defense kept them in it, and now in this fourth quarter, it's been the offense and the defense coming together to earn this win. The Richmond offense, they scored first in this game, but they really weren't able to do much. They had a couple nice chunk plays. Their only offensive touchdown came off of an interception that put them in great field position. So yeah, this was a great victory by Lehigh. Really inspiring how they were able to keep themselves going even after some tough events.
And the Mountain Hawks in the Patriot opener will fly high with a 21-14 victory over the 22-ranked Richmond Spiders. And as the clock hits 0, Lehigh moves to 1-0 and already off to a great start this year, coming off of a Patriot championship last year. They will play Sacred Heart next week here, and that should be another good game, non-conference game. And again, just pretty much you got everything you wanted to see that you saw, which is, again, this would set the tone this year, and I feel like it's definitely set a very good tone for the Mountain Hawks.
This is a top 25 matchup, number 14 Lehigh, number 25 Richmond. So a great big win to start the year. It makes you feel good about yourself. It makes you want to keep playing football. And going against Sacred Heart, Lehigh will just try to keep building off of that as they aim to repeat as Patriot League champions.
Yep, and as Ain't No Mountain High plays in the background, we will sign off here. We should be broadcasting the game next week here against Sacred Heart. We'll update you guys with our schedule of what games we're broadcasting. That include field hockey, soccer. We'll have our meeting on Monday, and we'll get back to you guys then. Thank you all for listening. From Jackson Cramp and Malik Eskin, have a great night. And we'll see you. And we'll see you soon.